one what happens to you on his football team. We'll tell you about that. And Albert Peake will be here today from longtime Ocala guy who's worked and developed so many nice areas and now engaged in trying to put together a hotel plan for downtown. Also, many other things like Country Club Ocala. Albert Peake from Ocala Development will be here. And the State of Real Estate Show, presented in part by Raymond Andrews and Regis Bank. And then the mayor drops by for coffee. I drank this stuff out here today with whatever that is, but I can't. Luckily, by 3:30, I'll have a new cup of coffee because the mayor always buys. And in sports, it's going to be a jam-packed sports hour. Big football weekend, huge football game in Columbia, South Carolina. I'll be there this weekend. Georgia, South Carolina. Mark Long from the Associated Press will weigh in on the importance of that game, and no insignificant game in the Swamp where the Gators are trying to step back into respectability against Kentucky. And then the Mouth, Mike Bianchi joins us, and you know, Tom Smith, what that means. Trouble on the Horizon. Mike Bianchi here at 5:30. Get his view of all this stuff with Ray Rice and maybe even his situation with stuff about Pat Hayden, and I'm sure Mike will have plenty to say.
Let me turn my mic on. It seems like there's all kind of people all over the sports world that have plenty to say about this. Ed Reed questioning the leadership of the Ravens, and then, of course, the idiot, Floyd Money Mayweather, saying the NFL's overreacting.
Yeah, that goes over well. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's pretty obvious, and we said this yesterday, this story, as it moves along, is not about Ray Rice. And it's a sub-chapter. Ray Rice and his wife, so questioned about it. They are the ones that all started with it. Now, they had their part in the cover-up as well, but it's more about how the NFL and Roger Goodell completely bungled this thing on all fronts. From the very get-go, they have messed it up. And I wonder if they're getting in deeper and deeper. I don't know that – was it like a year ago that they were talking about Roger Goodell being like the ultimate czar of – and commissioner, and how he was the most powerful guy in sports,
yes,
and so on and so forth. And he, but now people questioning him, his tactics, also wondering if he should be fired. How far is this going to go? The only thing that could cost him his job is if he perjured himself somewhere along the way, or if he was caught in a lie. That could be a whole other deal. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, and there's some question whether Goodell did that or not. You brought up another one today that we should we'll have to probably address again. It's been around for a while. In fact, 2012, the owner of the Hawks in Atlanta, who admitted he used some racist remarks in an email, and as well as Danny Ferry, also involved, the general manager, somewhat in this. So that one may not be over either, Tom.
That story's not going to go away, and it's right after the Donald Sterling incident. And now you got people, Danny Ferry. I think what Danny Ferry said in the conference call is much worse than what the Hawks owner wrote in an email. Am I wrong there?
No, it's pretty bad. Here's the other thing. We've completely forgotten about Ray McDonald and the San Francisco 49ers, who, of course, is involved, has been arrested for domestic violence.
Goodell hadn't seen that video yet. Yeah, he can't get his hands on the video.
There's been really no evidence. There's no video of that, as you know. And so, and of course, McDonald.
But the NFL's looking for it, just in case.
Yeah, right. They'll be out there for sure. What a lousy job of investigating. By a league known for its investigatory power.
We know they have ex-FBI agents working in their investigations bureau with the NFL. We know that.
Yeah. All that's coming up to talk about. Here we go. We'll take a break, come back. We'll address some of those issues. We'll let you know what the old ball coach said about his views. And Apple has a new wearable device, the Apple Watch. What do you think about that? We got our views next right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
Tired of hard water wreaking havoc around your home? Dry skin and lifeless hair? Dull and dingy laundry? Soap scum and spotted glasses too?
Hey, Culligan Man! A Culligan water softener turns hard water soft every time. Soft water is the answer. Not cleaning products or detergents. Culligan saves you up to 50% on soaps and detergents while turning your laundry, bathroom, and kitchen brilliant, like me.
Culligan of North Florida, proud sponsor of Seminole Football on The Source. 352-269-4312.
Hey, Culligan Man!
Hey, Eddie, I'm playing Augusta in a few hours, and I need a fourth. Want to join us?
Georgia's close, but it's not that close, Alex.
Not Georgia, Golden Ocala. I'm a member at Golden Ocala, and this course has 8 tribute holes, like number 12 and 13. You know, part of Amen Corner and the postage stamp and the road hole. It's a phenomenal track. My family and I always have a great time at the pool and at the restaurants. They've got 3, you know. The kids love the tennis programs. My wife practically lives at the spa, and I've been bulking up with a personal trainer in their fitness center. Joining Golden Ocala was one of the best decisions I've ever made, aside from marrying my wife, of course. So you want to join us in a few hours?
Absolutely. I can't wait to play the first hole in golf and the road hole too. Hey, how do I become a member at Golden Ocala?
Eddie, just call 352-402-4343.
Luxury and great golf is affordable at Golden Ocala. Call 352-402-4343 to join.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of the Properties Salon in downtown Ocala. Here in Florida, we're all about summertime fun, but along with the warm weather comes humidity, which leads to the dreaded frizzies. Are you tired of checking the weather report every morning before deciding to flat iron your hair? Sick of looking like the Lion King every day by noon? Has God just not seen fit to answer your prayers for patience and silky, frizz-free hair? Well, your troubles are over. Come to the Properties Salon for one of our hair smoothing systems. Specializing in Peter Coppola and Cezanne keratin smoothing treatments, the Properties Salon can tame your unruly locks with these formaldehyde-free formulas. And with the discount code BuddyRocks, you will save 20%. Not fighting the frizzies? Mention the same code BuddyRocks to save 20% off one of our many services such as cuts, color, extensions, and manis and pedis. Gentlemen, this special is not just for the ladies. We do great cuts and color for men too. Check us out at theproperties.com for more information.
Robin, how do you like my design?
You're designing a box?
That's not a box. It's a doghouse.
Rough draft for your rough? Sounds like you need personal service.
I do?
Yes, to print the blueprints. See Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can print blueprints, notarize permit applications, print and mail out invoices, and even provide great-looking business cards.
Personal Service Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your pedigree palace will be a reality in no time.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Stair workouts burn more calories than walking, up to 100 calories in 15 minutes. So 10 trips up and down between floors in your own house counts as part of your daily exercise requirement. And if you find yourself dreaming during power naps, it's a telltale sign that you're sleep deprived. Don't ever touch your eyes when you're flying, your nose, or your mouth until you do wash your hands.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
This is Tom Schmitz live in the WOCA News Center with this news break brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. Leo Robert Gulick, Bob to his friends, the director of sales at the Ocala Breeder Sales Company, during a time when the thoroughbred auction business came into national prominence, died at the age of 92. A memorial service is set for September 27th, according to Ocala.com. Gulick became director of sales at OBS in 78 and held that role until he retired in 95. In that time, OBS expanded its reach and became one of the leading sales companies in the country. This news break was brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. Join Angie weekly for her Biz Buzz or Good Neighbor Award.
right, the story that won't go away department. This Ray Rice story, as it advances, they call it in the business advancing the story. Well, now the story is the focus on Goodell and what he said. People have forgotten about the victim a long time ago, it seems like. Today on Mike and Mike, I heard the show about the president of the Senate for the New Jersey Senate has now asked the Attorney General to review the way the case was handled in New Jersey. And he made a great point. The senator said, I want to know if we handle all these cases, domestic violence like this, with pretrial intervention, and did he get any special treatment? And we have to examine if this is the way we're handling cases when people have obviously a felony assault and it gets sort of passed off and they go in some kind of program, then we probably need to change the laws. And I think we have to start with a very, and this is a show, by the way, we could do the whole show on this subject because it's such an important thing. Because Thursday, tomorrow, we do Ask the Cops. We're going to talk to Sheriff Chris Blair and Chief of Police Greg Graham, and I guarantee you the topic of conversation will eventually get around to domestic abuse, which they both tell me is one of the biggest problems they got here in Marion County. Domestic abuse is a huge problem here. And even children trafficking, by the way, in case you wanted to know about your community. We talk about how great it is, and it is, but there are problems in our community. And those are two of them. So a story like this that has the element of conflict, domestic quarreling, what have you, breaking the law, covering it up by a giant corporation, has many legs. And it's not going to go away. It's going to get bigger. But going back to the very premise of what's wrong here, let's put aside the New Jersey Senate president for a moment. Let's put aside Roger Goodell for a moment. Let's speak to the very issue of what happened. You saw the video. We all saw it at the beginning. We thought it was atrocious when we saw it the first time. The second time, it made our stomach turn. And I think Diamond hit it on the head yesterday when we were talking about this new video we saw. It not only shows him knocking her out, but dragging her out like she's a farm animal and letting her sprawl across the elevator floors. And when he saw a couple of people walking up, acting like maybe you couldn't tell what was being said, but it looked like he was talking about, well, she had too much to drink or whatever. Who knows? I can't surmise that. The point is, there was a long time that went on before she got anything. She got any attendance. She had hit her head on the bar in the elevator, and she lay there for, I don't know how long it was, but it was at least 4 or 5 minutes, and no one was attending to her. One other person came out, I think it was a woman, and sort of rubbed her on the arm. But this poor woman was laying there the whole time. Now, what about that part? Let's talk about what's right and what's wrong. Well, Steve Spurrier was asked about Ray Rice's situation yesterday. Actually, it was yesterday. And here's what he said. And whether you're a Spurrier fan or not, you have to be a fan of this. Here's what he said about it. I've had a rule since I've been here that if you ever hit a girl, you're not going to play on our team. You're finished. And we've had 2 players here. One was about 7 years ago. The other was about 9 years ago. We're not going to have any player on our team that's done that. I can't understand why every coach doesn't have that rule, why every company doesn't have that rule for employees. I think it could put a pretty good end to this stuff. Really, it's amazing that America has sort of put up with it or compromised, but that is something that should never have happened. Our players know that. And if they hit a girl, they're gone. They know it. Now, that's pure genius. What's so tough to understand about that? You hit your girlfriend or your wife or somebody else's girlfriend or wife, you're not going to play football at South Carolina. Apparently, you can play in San Francisco, where Ray McDonald's being now prosecuted as a domestic violence case. At least he has to be found, he has to have a hearing about it first, and then he's going to be probably going to be in trial or plea or whatever. And apparently it's okay in New Jersey. And here's what really stinks about the New Jersey thing. Remember, where is Ray Rice from? Who did Ray Rice play for? Rutgers University. Where is Rutgers University?
It's the State University of New Jersey.
And how close is that to New York? And how much of a favorite was he with all the people in the National Football League office? Now, I'm not saying anything was underhanded, but it sure looks funny that a guy like that was able to be expedited so quickly with 2-game suspension. That's right, 2-game suspension. And now, as Paul Harvey says, we found out the rest of the story with the rest of the video.
The problem I have is now Roger Goodell has come out and said that Ray Rice lied to him originally and didn't, was ambiguous in what he said to the NFL. Well, he was with the Ravens. The Ravens yesterday in a statement said, when asked, did what Ray Rice said happened match the video? They said, yeah, it matched the video exactly. Ray Rice told us what happened. He said he punched her twice. One time she fell, hit her head. He drug her out in the hallway. Goodell's now saying that Ray Rice didn't say that to the NFL, but he said it to the Ravens. I'm confused with who's telling the truth and who's lying here.
I don't have the interview. I heard it earlier. It was on, I guess, CBS last night.
CBS, yes.
Or NBA, one of those. No. And when he was asked about whether or not he had access to the tape, he sort of waffles and leaves the door open and says, okay, did he know about it? No, he didn't know about it. No, had he seen it? No. Well, that's plausible deniability, I guess. I mean, like, hey, Tom, don't show me that. I don't want to see that, Tom. Don't show it to me, You could say I didn't see it because Tom didn't show it to me. But something's not right in Denmark here, folks, when a guy like that who has all these powers and ability to get security help and what have you does a so-called investigation, quote unquote, and it's like the Rosemary Woods and missing 11-minute tape. That part of the tape wasn't there, and suddenly it surfaces. And Chris Mortensen, who's a heck of a reporter, he's a hell of a reporter. He raised the question some time ago and said, by the way, according to his sources he had heard, without seeing a tape, she was hit twice and then dragged from the elevator, and she hit her head. He says, according to what I heard, he says, it wasn't. She attacks him. We don't know the reason, and he strikes her hard, and her head, according to the sources I've spoken to, struck the rail inside the elevator, and she was unconscious. How could Chris Mortensen find out what happened inside the elevator, and the National Football League could not?
Because that's what Ray Rice told the Ravens happened inside that elevator. He said he hit her twice, and she hit her head on the rail.
Yeah, okay, but he knew there was more to it.
Well, no, because Ray Rice told the Ravens that. Mort's probably got a source inside the Ravens.
Yeah.
So Mort knew, and the NFL is going to say they didn't know. The NFL's lying. Here's a CBS interview. O'Donnell, who was the interviewer? O'Donnell.
Redheaded woman.
Yeah, Nancy O'Donnell. Is that her name? No. So her last name's O'Donnell.
Doesn't matter.
Nora O'Donnell. Yeah. She said, when did you first learn about this second tape? Goodell, yesterday morning. I got into the office and our staff had come in and said, there's new evidence. There's a video you need to see. And we watched it. It says, this says, Goodell's commissioner of the NBA doesn't have a smartphone. Nobody sent him an email link. You might want to take a look at this before he got to the office. So right there, maybe a little, did you know a second tape existed? Here's where you're questioning. Well, we had not seen any videotape of what occurred in the elevator. Right. We assumed there was a video. We asked for the video. We were never granted the opportunity to see it.
Yeah, Tom reminds me of this about coaches. When they look at another job, they say, have you talked? No, we have not talked to them.
I have not talked to them.
But they've had people who did.
Right. Did anyone in the NFL see this second videotape before Monday? No one in the NFL, to my knowledge, and I asked the same question. The answer is no. No one in the NFL, to my knowledge, saw the tape, is what Roger Goodell said. Then O'Donnell said, how is it the NFL could get their hands on a second tape, but a website called TMZ could? Goodell, well, I don't know how TMZ or any other website gets their information. We're particularly relying on law enforcement. That's the most reliable. It's the most credible. We don't seek to get the information from sources that are not credible.
Hey, what difference does it make
where it comes from?
The difference is they paid for it. TMZ pays money for it.
Then O'Donnell asked, the question becomes, did the NFL drop the ball? Or was the NFL willfully ignorant about what was on the tape? Goodell responded, well, we certainly didn't know what was on the tape, but we have been very open and honest. And I've also, from 2 weeks ago when I acknowledged it, we didn't get it right. That's my responsibility. I'm accountable for that. And then O'Donnell, great reporting, great follow-up. She said, but what changed? I mean, on the first tape, she's lying unconscious on the ground, being dragged out. Did you really need to see a videotape of Ray Rice punching her in the face to make this decision?
The Steve Spurrier rule. If you hit a woman, you're gone, right?
He said, no, we certainly didn't. And I'll tell you that we saw in the first videotape was troubling to us in and of itself. But what we saw yesterday was extremely clear. It was extremely graphic, and it was sickening. And that's why we took action.
Yeah. All right.
So let me ask this. So an unconscious woman dropped like a sack of potatoes on the ground isn't graphic enough for you?
Yeah, I mean, look, this doesn't pass the litmus test. Something is not right here. At the very least, the NFL is now stupid and incompetent, which, by the way, is enough for somebody to be fired. The other part of that is they're relying, heads are going to roll because, remember, in the Michael Vick case, what was said, in the Michael Vick case, the commissioner said Vick was not transparent with me. He wasn't honest with me.
Right.
Now, if he's putting that much emphasis on honesty.
And then they're not transparent, honest.
How does that apply to the commissioner's office? And so something is not right here. There's a pack of wolves on this story right now. And I guarantee you Mortensen's is one of them.
And the coup de grace to this, well, what does it mean he's suspended indefinitely? Does that mean Ray Rice will never play in the NFL again? Here's what Goodell said. I don't rule that out. He's paid his price for the actions he's already taken.
Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, so this whole thing, it gets worse. And remember how this whole thing started. Remember, it started with a 2-game suspension.
Right.
That's number one. And the second part is now we don't know the judicial process of what happened or who, in fact, was, who got cut some slack. Anyway, there's a lot of questions here.
Yeah, some prosecutors in Atlantic City got some questions.
It's going to be out for a while, and it ain't over yet, folks. Stay tuned. Coming up next, the mayor's here, and he's bringing coffee. You're on Coffee with the Mayor right here in the voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down.
Hi, this is Randy Briggs of the Briggs Law Firm. My son Bo and I practice exclusively in the representation of accident victims. And we've been asked many times why we would support and sponsor the program Ask the Cops with Sheriff Blair and Chief Graham, who are in the world of criminal law enforcement. Well, these legal rights actually overlap. In civil law enforcement, we're in the business of recovering for victims of accidents that which has been taken away from them and holding the responsible party accountable. Both civil law and criminal law share those common goals. So we're all in the field of law enforcement, and for that reason, we're proud to sponsor Ask the Cops on the Voice of Ocala with Buddy Martin. So if your family or a friend needs help in an accident situation, feel free to contact us at our website, www.The Briggs Law Firm. We're located in the Ocala Historic District.
Here in Florida, when you're looking to go to the beach, you've got hundreds of options. Theme parks, no shortage of options there either. But when it comes to home insurance, most companies have only one option. Allstate is different. Here in Florida, Allstate agents offer home insurance options from several companies, so they can help you get the coverage that's right for you. And they'll help you save on quality car insurance, too. For starters, safe drivers save 45% with Allstate. So before you settle for just one option, talk to someone with many home and car insurance options. Your local Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Hi, this is Kevin McDonald, your local Allstate agent. To get your quote, please call us at 622-2333 or stop by one of our 2 Ocala locations.
Allstate has no financial responsibility to you for any home insurance policy you purchase and would not be responsible for any claims. Allstate does not make any representations or accept liability related to operations of home insurance companies, including but not limited to their financial conditions. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. ISIS and what the president plans to do about the militants, the focus of tonight's address in prime time.
We're hearing he will put more boots on the ground in the form of so-called advisors who will be tethered to command posts inside Baghdad and to the north in Erbil. It's not likely to amount to more than a few hundred troops.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin.
A senior U.S. defense official tells me they need a total of about 1,000 advisors to defeat or destroy ISIS. Right now, they have about 300. Those U.S. forces are not allowed to leave their posts and fight with the Iraqis. It's not likely the president will give them that permission either, but Pentagon officials say they need that authority to be effective.
Police in Ohio say they've identified 5 teens involved in an ice bucket challenge prank on an autistic boy who ended up doused with human waste. Bay Village police will present evidence next week to the prosecutor's office to see if they will face charges. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Sending important work files as regular attachments is a big risk. You lose control the moment you hit send. That's why millions of professionals rely on Citrix ShareFile, the easy-to-use business solution for exchanging files quickly and securely. With ShareFile, send files of almost any size without bouncebacks. Files are encrypted and remain under your control. Try Citrix ShareFile free for 30 days. Go to sharefile.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage and enter information. That's sharefile.com, type in information.
At the Home Depot, buy one or more pallets of GAF Royal Sovereign 3-tab shingles and save up to 20%. Let's raise the roof but lower the cost with bulk pricing on GAF, America's #1 shingle, featuring advanced protection technology. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Up to 20% off one or more pallets of select GAF shingles. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Valid through September 17th, U.S.
On the next AM Ocala Live, we remember September 11th, 2001. We remember the first responders, the police officers, the firemen, the victims of the attacks of September 11th, 2001, and we hear new sound bites that are included in the 911 Memorial in New York City.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then, if it wasn't for our veterans, we would have had more attacks than the one on September 11th, 2001. So we thank our veterans each Thursday by inviting them into the studio. Hank Whittier from Veterans Helping Veterans, of course, is your host on Veterans News.
William Brazel is a researcher. He's written a book called The Seventh Holy Man. This book is based on documents about the Vatican, and he will also be asking the question, is there more to Pope Francis than most Americans realize?
So be sure to tune in to AM Ocala Live for a special September 11th memorial broadcast, plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
News Talk 1370. WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
Back on the Voice of Ocala, it's time for Coffee with the Mayor. I don't know. I think I'm running up a big bill with the mayor here. It'll be my turn to buy dinner for a couple of months here soon. But glad to have the mayor back in the studio again.
Can I go? I got my "Don't Tread on Me" flag in the office. I want to go get it. Can I go get that? Is that okay?
You can go get that. You got one? Bring it in.
So, Mayor Gwynn, in your fair city these days, what is the big story?
Well, there's a story. I don't know if it's on the Ocala Star banner yet, is it?
It is not on the Ocala Star banner yet, but it's all over Facebook. It was on the Glenn Beck's blaze yesterday.
Oh,
It made national. Yeah, it was on Glenn Beck yesterday. It's all over Facebook that the city of Ocala is trampling on the freedoms of an American, but allowing people of Mexican heritage and Irish heritage to run wild.
Wow. Wow. That's like two other people that called me today, one from Boston and the other one, I can't remember where he was from, two guys. They said, I saw this story, but, wanted to call you first before I responded to anybody or sent out any more emails or any emails. He said, there's always two sides to the story, so I wanted to find out what the story is. So basically, here's the deal. In our code of ordinances and the talks about the flags that can be flown without a permit are the American flag and the flag of the state of Florida. So there was a gentleman, and I'm not even going to name the name of the business, but he was flying the "Don't Tread on Me" flag, which flew over the colonies in 1775, flown on Navy ships. It's flown by the Marines. It's a very historic flag, very important term.
It was the flag of the colonies for quite a while.
Yes, United States Marines use it. So anyway, it was attached to a barrel at the end of the little shopping plaza. So they asked him to move it. So he moved it down to his business, hung it in front of his business, and code enforcement went over there, cited him, and then it just went downhill from there.
It certainly did.
Waving to a couple of
a couple of
Army.
Army folks waving to there outside the building. And so anyway, so he did a video on Facebook talking about the city, and we were singling out that flag when in fact it's not about that flag at all. It has nothing to do with it. They were saying that flag is the same thing as a sign, in the ordinance. So that you have to get a permit, like a banner or something to put it out. I don't think when council, I was just talking to our attorney, I don't think when council enacted that ordinance, we ever, thought about, prohibiting anyone from flying, any American flag. So one of the proposals that's in front of council is to have it where you can fly any American flag that was flown in America during United States history or the colonies without a permit, or there's another option that's being tossed around that we'll talk about on Tuesday night. But the city of Ocala certainly is not interested in, nor do we have any animosity toward that flag or any American flag. And this gentleman wasn't singled out because of that flag or the content of that flag or the "Don't Tread on Me," language that's in that flag with a rattlesnake.
It's just amazing.
That's just not the case.
It's just
but
amazing.
You know what? I bet he's got a lot of business from it.
It's just amazing how much legs a story like that can take. And then the other businesses that were singled out because they flew a Mexican flag and an Irish flag over theirs, but no reference to, do we know if they paid for a permit? Because if they paid for a permit, they're well within their rights to fly those flags.
Yeah, and I know that Irish flag that was up at one of the local bars has been up there since shortly after 9/11.
Right.
So, we've never cited him about that, nor have we cited the
car dealership that has the Mexican
which I
flag.
have no idea where that is.
I do.
You do?
I rode by it yesterday just to see.
Okay, and the Mexican flag is above the American flag.
Yeah, it's high. It's the highest flying flag on that property.
Yeah, I got a real problem with that, obviously.
All right, so the flag business, that's one thing. There are things that are very frustrating in our city sometimes that people find loopholes to do, and some of us have to pay for it in a way, but I'm really disgusted with the fact that, and this has nothing to do with the mayor's office, that I have a home next to me that's been vacant for 8 or 9 years and is in total destruction virtually, and I can't get anybody to do anything about it because, and I won't go into the whole story, but my neighbors are frustrated with it because it's buried somewhere deep in, somebody's records, their deed and the bank, and they're paying the fines. That's one thing. Then I got down the block a ways, A guy who chooses to have a gigantic sign in his yard, who simply espousing his own political beliefs,
Right.
and try to sell his house. Now, I don't understand why there can't be an ordinance for that. That's annoying. It's a public nuisance. But yet, I've called the city. I've called the code enforcement people. I've called them all. Nothing they can do about it. So those are the things that frustrate me. I don't care about the flags, really. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, look, do what you want to do. I don't care. But just as long as you don't desecrate Old Glory, I don't care.
Right.
But the deal is, there are things like this elsewhere the government is incapable of doing about.
Well, I would disagree that we're incapable of doing anything
then
about.
how come anything can be done?
Well, I mean, there could be something done about that. There also could be something done about your yard, which I don't understand. Not your yard, but the yard. I know which. Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I drive by it and go, "Wow, look at that."
Yeah, and you know how many times I get people who stop there once a month to say, "Is that property for sale? I'd like to have it."
Had a
And
guy
nobody can do it.
Who owns it? A bank?
Well, as far as we can tell, that's the problem. Even the bankers can't find out. The best we could find out was, the last I heard was, I think Deutsche Bank held a mortgage to it for something. But I don't know why. They keep slapping signs and slapping fines, and nothing can be done about it. And that's just, to me, I'm sorry, I'm not a violent person. Seems to me like what ought to happen is somebody needs to go light a match over there and get rid of it. Because otherwise, what are you going to do?
I'll find out what it is.
Well, I've had bankers and lawyers and everybody else. Maybe the mayor can get it done. But
Yeah,
Sharp-dressed man could probably get the answers.
it's not about me. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's just something that's wrong. You know?
We even had a guy. We had a guy. Buddy and I were going to an appointment somewhere, and we were pulling out of his drive. Oh, I remember where we're going. We're going to a golf tournament, buddy. And the guy pulled up. The guy pulled up in the yard and asked us if we knew who owned the house, because he was a house flipper and he was interested in buying it.
People want the property.
Yeah.
Right.
The neighbors would like to see something done with it. You know. Now, right next to it is a house that's been vacant, but it's owned by a family, and they keep it reasonably up. Not great, but it's just empty. Okay, that's the way life is. But this is an eyesore.
An abandoned house, really.
Abandoned, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous over there. So that one, and the other idea that, you know what I called a city councilman and talked to him about this other thing, the sign.
That sign aggravates, buddy, every time we go by it.
But it should aggravate everybody. Would you like to have someone put like basically a poster, a billboard up in their yard next to you?
That's exactly what it is too. It's an 8x4 plywood painted sign.
I don't care what your
For
political
sale sign.
philosophy is. It's more than that.
All it is now is a for sale sign. But before then, it said, "In liberalism, it's the bane of the country."
It's still got some of that on it.
Oh, does it?
So yes. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just all right. So my point is this: speaking as a citizen now, and you get these things all the time.
Right.
There are many things that frustrate us and whatever. I always tell people to go to city council, call the cops. I got a problem. I've gone but the process isn't working for me. So there you go.
Well, sometimes the process needs to be tweaked and changed, and so yeah, definitely on the lawn issue I'll find out that for you. And then the sign. I mean, I don't know what the ordinance is on the size of sign you can have, but like
this is an
Tom
8x4
said here,
plywood
I think
sign.
Some of that that message that was on there went away, but then you're getting into free speech. Rights. But,
I'm a amendment one guy. I understand. I appreciate
no, but I mean,
that.
the question is, can you put those words or that viewpoint on
Exactly.
what size sign can you put it on?
That's all.
Well, you can put it on a sign, but just not that big.
Exactly. I got saved the Marion Theater in my yard for 2 years. That sign. Now, mine was the size of a real estate sign.
Right.
Whatever.
This is not the size of a real estate sign.
No, it's not. If you want to put whatever you want on your sign, as long as it's not filthy.
This one's got 4x4 posts holding it up.
Right. Yeah, it's an 8x4 sign.
And it drives Buddy bananas.
Yeah. So anyway, it's my community. Okay. Speaking of our community, we got about a minute before we go to break, but it seems to me sometimes that we have had so many negative stories that are sort of got a bounce to them out of here. Well, and I know you as the mayor take them personally.
Absolutely, I do.
I know you can't orchestrate news, you can't make up stuff, whatever, but I don't think there's any PR spin that you can actually use on something like this. But when you get these kinds of stories, the baggy pants law. I mean, that made us look stupid, and you fought that, by the way, and you wanted to take it, repeal. But when we've got to remember our image as well as at stake here. And if we're proud of our community, we have many great things. I still think it's the greatest place on the planet to live. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But we got to have people. When people say people step up and do something, which we believe. if you step up and try to do something, you get knocked down and get knocked down and get knocked down, how many times do you step up?
Right. I've probably had between today and yesterday probably 400 emails about this flag. Yeah. From all over the United States.
And what are they basically, how are they running?
They're terrible.
They're running like we're a backward town. And we're
a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah, see, you laugh, but that's your town.
I know. That's my town. That's
I know, and I've gotten...
and they're directed to me, Mr. Mayor.
Obviously, somebody sent your email address out to people.
I've got
go on the website.
I've gotten probably 15 or 20 text messages in the last 24 hours saying, "Are y'all going to talk about this on the radio? Are y'all going to talk about this on the radio? You're going to talk about how they're treading on our rights on the radio?" And believe me, I'm the last person that thinks "don't tread on me" should ever be something that we write a ticket about.
Right, me either.
So
I would never don't tread on me.
Yeah. All right, we're going to tread on you next. We got Faker or Factoid coming up. Albert Peak joins us in the 4 o'clock hour, the State of Real Estate Show. And maybe you should bring the city attorney in on time when you come back in. We can talk about some of these things.
That'd be interesting.
An expanded version of the Coffee with the Mayor.
Yeah,
all right, and we'll talk about some of the issues like this of people, and then people call in or write in and say, "I've got one for you. What do I do about this?" Right?
That's good. We'll do that.
So we'll get a little dialogue going,
like the Nancy Grace show, right?
Okay, I'm leaving if we become that.
Yeah, wow.
You moved us up in the company in the big time show. All right.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't get a hold of that.
She doesn't do Faker or Factoid, though. I tell you that. You ready to play Tom and Faker or Factoid?
Yeah, let's take Tom.
Take a break. Come back with the mayor. He brings coffee. He plays Faker or Factoid, and now he's going to help me get that house taken care of in my neighborhoods. I'm definitely voting for him. Stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price of fixed rate alone.
Fumble! I was so busy making my fantasy football picks that I forgot to stock up on inventory, and now I need cars fast. So I'm calling for an inventory blitz. Chris Spears here from Prestige Auto Sales. This month, bring me in your old car, and you can score the nicer, newer ride you've been fantasizing about for just $10 down.
Sack your old car.
And start driving the nicer, newer car of your dreams for just $10 down. Don't get fouled by past credit problems.
Our For the People credit approval process is the game changer you've been waiting for.
We huddle up the banks and lenders to help you get approved and back in the game. So stop driving a car you hate.
Punt it and drive a nicer, newer car for just $10 down today.
I'm throwing in a Hail Mary to make my month, and I need your help. Trade in your old car, and you can drive for just $10 down. But don't wait till the clock runs out. This deal is over when my inventory is full. I'm Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit us at Prestige Auto Sales or call 694-1234. Yes, 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on.
We are The Source, WOCA.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Stair workouts burn more calories than walking, up to 100 calories in 15 minutes. So 10 trips up and down between floors in your own house counts as part of your daily exercise requirement. And if you find yourself dreaming during power naps, it's a telltale sign that you're sleep deprived. Don't ever touch your eyes when you're flying, your nose, or your mouth until you do wash your hands.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new truck.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Stuff gives me a headache, whatever that is. Okay, here we go. Albert Peak joins us this hour. Albert Peak joins us next hour on the state of real estate. And right now, our time to finish up this episode with the mayor, Coffee with the Mayor. We're playing a little game called Fake or Factoid. Albert Peak, listen up. This is how you play the game, just in case you get stuck with it sometime. I make a statement, you say fake or factoid. And at the end, we have a question called the number, where you have to guess a number in case there's a tie. Are you gentlemen ready?
Yes.
All right. You ready, Tom?
For the mayor, I don't even prepare. I just
yes or no will be sufficient.
Go.
Okay. Here we go. Fake or factoid? Susan Lucci is the daughter of Phyllis Diller. Fake or factoid?
Fake.
Go say fake?
Yeah, big time.
Both wrong.
She's Phyllis Diller.
Daughter of Phyllis Diller. Number two.
Really?
Yeah. Number two, George Clooney is the second cousin of Rosie O'Donnell. Fake or factoid?
True.
Yeah, that's fact.
I mean, fact.
Fact.
Both say fact?
Yep.
Both wrong. Albert, you better step in here. These boys aren't doing too good. Turn Albert's mic on and see.
Whatever we say the opposite, Albert.
All right, number three. The Tam O'Shanter is named for the hero of Robert Burns' poem of the same name. Fake or factoid?
Okay, fact. I'll just miss all three of them.
I'll say fake.
Say fake?
Yeah.
Well, then somebody's going to get this one. This one's a fake.
Yeah. Well, I think that's 3 misses for the mayor, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay. All right, so it's fact. Albert, sit in for the last 2 questions. All right, get a mulligan. All right, number 4, the CN Tower, not CNN, the CN Tower
in Toronto?
In Toronto is the tallest freestanding structure in the world. Fake or factoid? Albert, go ahead and jump in there.
I'm going to say freestanding, no.
Okay.
I think that's fact.
Think it's fact?
It's fake.
Tom is correct.
I thought it was fact.
Yeah. There you go. Albert's got one miss. And finally, you're going to knock them both out of the box, Tom. You've only got one to go. Finally, in the Andes, time is often measured by how long it takes to smoke a cigarette. Fake or factoid?
Fact.
I'm going to go with fact on that.
Fact. You're both correct. It is fact. And finally, Tom wins. This was the record. Everybody jump in on this one. This is a question about a number. The largest earthworm on record was found in South Africa and measured how many feet? Tom, you go first.
8.5.
8.5 feet. Albert, how long was it?
10.5.
10.5. Kent?
11.2.
Well, you win because it's actually 22 feet.
Earthworm, 22 feet
The
long.
guy who answers last gets that big spread there. Good job, Kent.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, Mayor. Thanks for the coffee. See you next week. Coming up next, Albert Peak joins us for State of Real Estate right here in the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
And although this wave is stringing us along, just know you're not alone. 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
It's the ultimate summer staycation, just minutes from downtown Ocala, but miles away from the ordinary. A summer sports or summer golf membership at Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club is your all-inclusive ticket to a summer filled with activities and fun from June through September. A summer membership at Golden Ocala opens the door to a world-class setting. Is golf your game? Is tennis your passion? Or is lounging poolside more your speed? Want to get in shape? Work out in the state-of-the-art fitness center and then relax and unwind in the sauna or the spa. Summer members also have use of the Equestrian Center at Golden Ocala, offering full board and paddock, impeccable trails, and a jumping ring for riders of all ages. Summer memberships are going fast, so visit goldenocala.com and explore the options. Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club. This summer, you can live there and still play here.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is a place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Eye Care Center of Ocala is centered on patient satisfaction. Our friendly doctors and staff are here to serve all of your family's eye care needs under one roof. Our optometric physicians take great pride in offering every patient the absolute best in vision care utilizing state-of-the-art technology. We're located about 2 miles west of I-75 on State Road 200. You can schedule an appointment for the Eye Care Center by going to www.eyecarecenterofocala.com or you can call us at 352-512-0560.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Alice?
Yes, George?
I'm royalty at Devon Self-Storage now on Highway 200 across from Hobby Lobby. It says so right here in this letter.
George, I read that letter too, and it's Devon's loyalty rewards. Pay 3 months in advance, get 5% off. Pay 6 months in advance, get 7% off. Pay 12 months in advance and get 10% off.
See, Alice, Devon Self-Storage treats me like royalty. Just call them at 873-0777.
Yes, George, yes.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler, the ISIS terror group and how to destroy it. The president outlines his strategy for doing that in an address to the nation at 9 p.m. Eastern.
If he thinks that he can just come and request $5 billion and Congress is going to rubber stamp that or write him a blank check without any plan or strategy, I think he is terribly mistaken.
Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn calling tonight's address an opportunity for the president to make a strong case to the American people.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern. France agrees to take part in airstrikes against ISIS targets in Iraq. After Hurricane Katrina, Eric Berry moved his family to the Arizona desert, where monsoon weather flooded roads and Berry's home in Mesa this week.
It's something that living in Mesa, Arizona is not typical.
A stretch of I-15 washed out between Las Vegas and Salt Lake City. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Sending important work files as regular attachments is a big risk. You lose control the moment you hit send. That's why millions of professionals rely on Citrix ShareFile, the easy-to-use business solution for exchanging files quickly and securely. With ShareFile, send files of almost any size without bounce backs. Files are encrypted and remain under your control. Try Citrix ShareFile free for 30 days. Go to sharefile.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage and enter information. That's sharefile.com, type in information.
At the Home Depot, buy one or more pallets of GAF Royal Sovereign 3-tab shingles and save up to 20%. Let's raise the roof but lower the cost with bulk pricing on GAF, America's #1 shingle, featuring advanced protection technology. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Up to 20% off one or more pallets of select GAF shingles. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Valid through September 17th, U.S. only. See store for details.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
He's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala. Hoo-ah!
You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
Like the man said, hour 2 of the program. Now it's time for the State of Real Estate, where we bring some educated voices to the program, to the microphones, to talk to about what is happening in our community regarding dirt and other things that you put on dirt. And one of the guys who's right in the middle, I say guys, one of the actually groups that is in the middle of all this stuff downtown, I'm glad to say, is someone who has a stake in this community for many generations. He's a friend of ours in the show, a friend of mine a long time, his family, and I'm glad he's here, and I'm glad he's involved in the downtown project for the hotel. Let's welcome back to the program the founder and president, I guess it is, of Ocala Development. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I don't know the long title, Albert Peak.
Well,
Hello,
buddy,
Albert.
Buddy, good to see you, man. It's
See
nice to be
you.
back on the show. Being with Tom over here, and I didn't do very well in the fact or factoid, but I'm going to have to pay a little more attention to that.
No, you don't. It's not worthwhile. It's how we kill time here, just having fun. Well, you know, I wish I would have been running the tape between you and the mayor. You guys have some good stuff going on during the break that I found interesting. I won't give it up. Don't worry. It's confidential stuff. But I know that you feel good about certain people you work with in the community because, let's face it, for as long as I can remember, This town's been about relationships, and I don't mean the good old boy network.
Yeah, sure.
And your family has been very well involved in that, including your grandfather back in the day, and your dad and your mom. People don't know even that your mom and dad are really one of the reasons Grinders is still here, because they needed to buy some clothes for their sons, and so they bought into the clothing store, Augie Grinders. So
yeah, that was Buggy's venture out there, and she really enjoyed the relationship with Augie Griner, who is just one of the great guys that you've ever known. And the beginning of the Tip-Off Club was all Augie Griner, and we continue to enjoy having that today. But Buddy, you're right when you talk about relationships, and it's something that I've tried to tell my sons. It's all about doing what you say you're going to do, and there's very few real estate transactions that happen on a handshake. But if you cannot do it with a handshake, the written document that you have really doesn't hold much muster, because it's all about doing what you say you're going to do and the relationships that you build.
Boy, are you a dinosaur.
Yeah.
And I am too, because I still believe that. That's how I was raised in this community. Unfortunately, I love my lawyer friends, don't get me wrong. The lawyers have a little different view of that, don't they, sometimes? And it's a little hard to do that way. But, hey, like you say, it's only as good as the piece of paper it's written on. And if it's not any good, your handshake's no good, nothing else is going to be good. So
when Duke West and I started the development on the Country Club of Ocala, Fred Wallet was involved, and Mark Jank and a number of guys on there. But when it started in the very, very beginning, Duke West and I did that on a handshake, and we said, let's go ahead and get this thing done. And we started moving ahead at that point in time. And in a follow-up, we had all the necessary documents to be able to do that. But the intent was, you look at somebody in the eye and you shake your hands, and that's how you go. And we've been actually working downtown in some of that same kind of relationships. We've been working with the city staff and the city council members and trying to move ahead this what we call catalytic project on the chamber site. A future hotel site, and people ask me, when are we going to be able to stop in and have a restaurant there, and similar to what you have in Mark's and Harry's downtown, and when can we have guests there? And with the football season, Idaho came and flew into the Ocala airport. I'm still fly out there, and I used to be on the board out there. And Tracy said, here's all these people coming in. This is a window to Ocala, and every team that plays in the University of Florida up in Gainesville ends up coming into Ocala. They don't want to stay in Gainesville. They end up wanting to stay down here in Ocala.
Most of them at the Hilton.
Yeah, exactly. And the Hilton's done a great job for them out there too.
Yeah, man. Well, that's good to know. And you mentioned Country Club of Ocala. We could spend a whole hour on that project. Your friend Butch Futch, I know, moved a bunch of dirt out there. And you guys couldn't do that today, probably because it would require so many permits and this and that and EPA and all the things you got to do, that a bunch of people moving dirt around and getting things done. And what a beautiful community that has become. One of our premier communities in this area. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a beautiful area and a great golf course.
Absolutely. A tough golf course to play, but you're right. When we did it, we met all of the requirements of the Water Management District and DEP and everything at that point in time. But today, you wouldn't be able to develop that. And interesting enough, it was one of the fastest growing and developed subdivisions. So that just tells you the community wanted it. But from the regulatory end, it just wouldn't happen today, which is, sometimes I think a little less government and some free market enterprise, and let people decide, by supply and demand what they want to have, will dictate that.
Seemed to work back in the day. And before we go to break, it's interesting. I want to talk to you about this, about the flow of people to and from south, here in southeast, southwest, to the villages. There's a corridor being built here in the villages. Everybody's trying to figure out how to capitalize on that corridor, And most of the people think it's going south, and it is. But I interviewed a family 3 or 4 months ago who moved up from there to Country Club
Yeah,
Ocala.
it's a different environment than what they have in the villages.
So it works both ways there,
Absolutely.
And I think there's opportunity. Certainly Bellevue's capitalized on it, what have you. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. But meanwhile, I want to know more about, like everybody else, what's with the hotel and what's happening downtown the square. So we'll take a break. We'll come back with Albert Peak. We'll talk more about the hotel project. I can't wait. I hope this show is still on the air and I'm still around, because I plan to broadcast the first day that hotel is open right downtown. I can't wait for that to happen.
Love to have you.
All right. Albert Peak, more coming your way right here on the State of Real Estate, presented in part by Raymond Andrews' team from Regions Bank. Stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
My name is Bo Briggs. I'm a sixth-generation Ocala, and I practice law with my father at the Briggs Law Firm. Over the years, we've seen many changes to Ocala and many changes in our profession. What has not changed is our commitment to our clients. You will speak with and get to know your attorney. That will never change. A lawyer will personally handle your case, not a paralegal. So if you've been injured in an accident and would appreciate personal attention, you can reach us at 671-4600 or learn more at thebriggslawfirm.com.
Nestled in the heart of horse country, just off I-75 exit 354, the award-winning and newly refreshed Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala invites you to pamper yourself in one of our comfy guest rooms. Enjoy our free and fast Wi-Fi, heated outdoor swimming pool, 24-hour fitness center, and our deluxe continental breakfast. Other on-site amenities include a restaurant, putt-putt golf, and a car wash. Go happy, go Hojo at the Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala, proud sponsor of Friday Night High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm the football your buddy fired through your windshield. The cooler that tumbled out of a pickup and onto the hood of your car. If you're a football fan, eventually we're gonna meet. So get Allstate, where agents help keep you protected from mayhem. Like me.
Are you in good hands?
Hey, this is Kevin McDonald, your local Allstate agent. Call me at 622-2333 and let's make sure you're in good hands.
Regions Bank has big bank ability but possesses small bank agility. Utilizing tools like Raymond Andrews and his team of 6 mortgage experts with 100 years of experience in the mortgage industry and 50 years experience as members of the Regions Bank team. Mortgage lending is personal and important, and you deserve someone that will lead you through a positive process. Raymond and his team use local mortgaging processes like local appraisers and local closing to help you have a positive experience, and they habla Espanol as well. So whether you need a conventional, FHA, USDA, or VA loan, or you even need a construction loan, the mortgage team of your local Regions Bank has the knowledge and experience to guide you through the process. So contact Raymond Andrews and his team of mortgage experts at 352-854-4104. That's 352-854-4104. Regions Bank, it's time to expect more.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
Who would you feed if you had 50 chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A? WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall have teamed up to reward one organization with 50 chicken sandwiches as a way of saying thanks for the great work that organization is doing in our community. And we need your help. See, there are so many great people doing great things that we need nominations. You can nominate your own organization or any organization you choose. Simply send an email to WOCA@WOCA.com. And in 350 words or less, tell us why the organization you are nominating should receive 50 free chicken sandwiches from WOCA and Chick-fil-A at the Paddock Mall. We'll review your nominations and then select one deserving organization each month. We'll announce the winner and even read the winning entry on the air. Make sure to include the contact name and phone number of the organization that you are nominating. And thanks from your friends at WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
We are The Source, WOCA, news, talk, sports, and more.
Back on the program called The Voice of Ocala, the state of real estate. Our special guest, Albert Peak, joins us, Ocala Development, and we have so much to talk about. I want to be sure we get in the hotel, but let me just say, first of all, what you've been talking about regarding taxes. Can you share any of that? Because I think it's very poignant and to the point about what's happening. They're talking about the ad valorem taxes being raised. We have ranted and raved on this program for 2 years about sales tax and why other communities are able to use it some way to build projects. I don't care if it's the Yankees or if it's a park. We've had it, used it in the past, but for some reason, nobody wants to talk about sales tax anymore. But anyway, your point is very good about what happens to people like you in the development business when they raise ad valorem taxes. We don't think about things like that. What were you saying earlier?
Well, the comment that I was making, it just happens to be like people have received their trim notices, which are your estimated taxes, and if you disagree with your valuation or the tax rate or whatnot, you have an opportunity to talk to the property appraiser's office, or you can appeal to a special magistrate. And I can tell you, Villy and their office over the property appraiser's office, those guys are great over there. If you imagine every year having to revalue and their model, thousands and thousands of pieces of property. But the issue that we were talking about is some of the activities, whether it was the ballpark or whether it was something for the school or something for the hospital or somebody who needs to raise money, it comes towards we're going to raise just a mill or a half a mill for the property taxes. And I know there's some legal constraints about what you can use for sales taxes, and the proposition I have is you need to change that rule, because from the standpoint of people, not really only from real estate development, but people who invest in real estate as part of their retirement plans. And your tax planners will tell you want to have some in stocks and low cap, high cap, stocks and gross, et cetera, but you want to have some in real estate also. Well, some of us invest more in real estate. And as a result, when a proposition comes up and they say, well, it's only going to be $50 per household increase in order to be able to do that. Those people that own more real estate, it's thousands and thousands of dollars worth of increase in taxes. And Kirk Boone, my partner in Ocala Developments, he and I had this conversation that it's as arbitrary as to say, well, those people who own Apple stock need to pay more taxes because they invested in Apple stock or mutual funds or any other investment vehicle. And my thinking is that the sales tax provides, it's unilaterally across the county. Everybody gets a chance to participate. Those that have higher spending volumes pay more sales tax. Those that are buying just food and maybe prescriptions and whatnot, the exempts are in there. But also you get about 25% to
outside the county.
Yep, people that come through the county that are helping participate and doing these items. And I understand there's certain legislative things that says a sales tax cannot be used for these items.
Salaries.
You've got to make a change on that, because it's fairer in a sales tax environment than to arbitrarily just pick one particular investment strategy and say we're going to tax that.
That's not going to work.
Your mic's not on.
That's not going to work. You're a have.
Yep.
And so you need to supply for the have-nots. Okay, just realize that.
But back to your point, political dogma aside.
Yeah.
The point is, in my mind, the sales tax is a much fairer tax. I mean, I'm willing to pay a little more on my taxes, but I only have one house. Well, I actually have two. But anyway, I understand that. But I never thought about what you said about what a big tax burden that is for people who are developers and who hold holdings in real estate. It's a very valid point, and one I've never heard expressed before. So you're saying you'd rather have that certainly ad valorem, nobody really wants it, but you'd rather have the sales tax if it could be utilized for some of the things we need to address. We can build roads with it, I understand, the sales tax, isn't that right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we can build schools with that. You can do all kinds of things, but you can't pay salaries, et cetera, et cetera. So one way or another, we have to raise some money in this community. Right?
I think the sales tax is the perfect vehicle.
Why? I ask you this question. I know you don't. It's not your responsible, but why can't we get a sales tax on the Dedgum County Commission agenda?
There's been some discussions back and forth about it, and I think the pushback on that is because of, and I'll tell you, Marion County still suffers from the economic crisis that we've been in the last 6 years or so, you can sort of draw a line from Orlando, Tampa south, and they're rocking and rolling down there. There's all kinds of things that are going on, and we're still suffering in this particular market. Jacksonville and those markets are doing pretty dadgum well right now, but we're still suffering. I think the council and the commission still look at that sales tax may be a burden at this point in time, and maybe they'll be looking at it in a year or two.
I don't know.
But we need to generate some income because Monir will tell you our road systems absolutely need some money.
Really getting bad there.
Yeah, and he's doing everything he can with the budget that he has. So, I think that's something they're going to be looking at into the future, though.
Yeah.
Whenever you cross from Marion County to Putnam County, and you can't tell the difference in the quality of road, you got issues.
Good point. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Let's talk about hotels.
Yeah, sure.
I'm really dying to tell me what kind of hotels are going to be. Is it going to be like a Marriott, a Hilton?
Well, the kind of agreement that we're so close to having everything wrapped up.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we really are.
Wow, that's great news.
We had meetings with our guys today. We have a meeting tomorrow with the city. The staff has been really good. We've been meeting every other week just to make sure that questions come up don't become big problems. We go ahead and address them early. And we had some setbacks with our plan. We thought we would be under an agreement long before this, but we ran into some problems like the Osceola Avenue where the railroad tracks runs.
The fence they wanted to put up, all that stuff. Right?
Just some issues about all of that area had to be redone, and some of the plans showed items that were not going to be beneficial to the downtown, would have had a negative effect on IHMC. Those guys are great partners with the city, and the city recognized this also, both staff and city council guys. So it took a while. We've had meetings with the railroad. They've got consultants now and the DOT to try and put together a package that would be conducive for pedestrian traffic downtown. You got to get a quiet zone. You can't have a hotel where a horn is blowing down below it at any hours of the night.
Or a train coming through.
Yeah, that's what I mean, the horns from a train. I mean, I'm sitting right downtown by Gauze and Son Jewelers in between Starbucks and Harry's, and when that train goes through, it'll rattle my window. I can't imagine what it'd be like right over it. So, that was one of the issues we had to deal with. We've been trying to work out situations about the location of the parking garage. I know the city and their master plan has this parking garage. Number one location for us would have been the Bank of America site, and so they've been working through that.
Are there issues about that now, though?
Yeah, it's complicated because it's somebody else owns it. The tenant, Bank of America, you got to accommodate them to be able to do that. So there's a lot of moving parts in that, and none of that moves very quickly. But
how heavy the hotel's going to be, and whether the EPA will let you do so anyway.
Yeah,
but but you're going to persevere, Albert. You've been through tougher stuff than this.
It's fun to get challenging. Kirk Boone and Bryce, my son Bryce Peak.
Good team.
What a great team to have in this thing, and Bryce has just taken this thing and has done such a great job, as Kirk has also. So, we're all involved. As a matter of fact, Bryce is down in Stewart and I think it's called Main Street, a two-day seminar to try and do the past president of the Downtown Business Alliance, trying to pull little gems, little pearls from what's been doing in other communities. We've gone all over the state looking at places where the hotels, what's the right kind to be. And so to answer your question, what kind of hotel, we're looking for like a Hilton Garden Inn or a Marriott product. There's one up in Jacksonville called the Indigo that Randy McCoy and that group did. It's it's a boutique hotel, and now
I've seen that.
All of the franchises, which we call flags, it's reservation systems, from the Holiday Inns to the Wyndhams to all of them have these little boutique kind of hotels that are about a 4-story kind of hotel, which we're looking at.
Hampton Inn, downtown Gainesville is sort of that way?
Absolutely. What they didn't do with that is they don't have a restaurant downtown. We'd like to have a full-service restaurant in this particular one, something that would not compete with Harry's and Mark's, but actually complement those, because, again, that's something else that would be drawn downtown. So
maybe some of the people who have restaurants out could also have one downtown.
Absolutely.
We have a restaurant show here with some good people involved in it. Randy Quench's, he and his chef have a great menu there. You've got people like Artisanal Dish with the out there when on 27. They want to have a little boutique restaurant or two downtown as well as their restaurant.
All of these venues, from Hits to all of the other venues that happen in the thoroughbred industry, people that come in, they're flying into the airport. I think it was Missouri when they came into town, they were eating at Mark's. All the coaches were there.
Yeah, Cindy has them all.
Yeah, which is, it's great that they're coming to downtown Ocala. If you have the hotel there, I think it'll
natural.
Help Mark's. It'll help Harry's. You have a theater there. I think Jerry would love it. And you have a jewelry store down there. You have all these other little venues that can just help and thrive. You'll see more shops coming down there.
By the way, make sure you build it big enough to hold a football team.
Let me ask you this, Albert.
Sure.
You touched on something that I find to be a problem in our city. Bryce, your son, he's a pillar of the community, doing everything because he gets it that 20, 30 years from now, he's going to be the one sitting where you're sitting now as the person, one of the community leaders. And he's trying to become a community leader now in his very young age. What is different about Bryce? Or is it because he loves Ocala, obviously, but there are so many great, talented 20-somethings that are leaving our city in mass numbers.
Let me answer that question real quick for him. It's a great story. Albert was sick, very sick, and Bryce came home and was really working down in Orlando at the time and thought he was needed here in their community and came in here and basically helped his dad get back on his feet. Thank goodness Albert's doing great now. And then, am I right so far?
Absolutely.
And so Bryce decided maybe this is his calling. Maybe he needs to be in Ocala development. He stepped right in, didn't miss a beat, was all over the idea of the hotels, and he's very much involved. That's the difference.
How do we get other kids to think that way?
Tom, Bryce peaks don't fall off the back of turnip trucks is what I'm trying to say.
We got to figure out a way to keep the 20-somethings here in this town because they're the future leaders of this town.
Well, opportunity has to be there, and a lot of times it's recognizing the opportunity, because even during this recessionary period, there's opportunities in a variety of businesses, and sometimes you got to recreate who you are. And I know a number of people who are involved in the real estate and the building industry have sort of morphed and recreated themselves into another niche of something similar to what they were doing. And I think in the Bryce thing, he saw an opportunity. He stepped up when I had a little chance to go to the Shan Spa and Resort up there. Bryce did step up. He'd had a major in real estate finance and urban planning already. So, he had a pretty good feel from the bookwork of it. And Kirk and Sandy and Jimmy Gooding and Steve Gray and Fred Roberts, all these guys who are all involved in real estate transaction and whatnot. He's like in a sponge mode.
It was a divine calling. Is what it was.
It absolutely was.
Yeah.
But I think the young people that are maybe find that they or decide that they don't think that there's an opportunity here. Really, you got to be adaptive, and you got to, instead of the cup's half empty, you got to look at it as it's half full. And I got to figure out a way to think. I always tell my kids that going to college is trying to figure out the answers when they're not right in front of you. You just got to use your mind and think through that.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't know, you ask Marilyn; she'll be able to tell you about it. Usually, that's where the wisdom comes from, anyway. In your family. No, what a great lady! Hey, you got to come back more often. This is way too short. This
I
went
can't
fast.
believe it's over. There are some areas that we're talking about just globally in Marion County. What's happening in the various
All right, they're going to cut
areas.
us off with the music and the computer. But will you come back again soon?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to have you back 3 or 4 more times here over the next few months.
And we got some Gator stuff to talk about.
We can do that too. We got some stuff, good stuff happening. So Albert, thank you so much.
All right,
Albert
buddy.
Peak,
Thank you,
Ocala
Tom.
Development. And take a little break here, come back. We'll finish up the other side. And don't forget, we got sports at the top of the hour right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
If you know what happiness is to you, because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down.
Stay with us and sleep better at the Sleep Inn and Suites of Ocala Bellevue, located next door to Don Garlett's Museum and a few minutes from Florida Horse Park. Our award-winning, newly refreshed Sleep Inn and Suites offers comfy, clean rooms, free fast Wi-Fi, and service with a smile. Start your day with a deluxe hot breakfast and unwind in our heated outdoor pool. Our convenient 24-hour fitness and business centers allow you to stay on track whether you're here to play or to work. That's Sleep Inn and Suites Ocala Bellevue, proud sponsor of Marion County High School football. Men, do you know your testosterone level? Are you experiencing decreased energy levels or unusual sleeping problems? Have you noticed you have less strength or endurance, decreased sex drive, increased irritability or depression? If so, you may be experiencing problems with low testosterone. If you're interested in a free testosterone screening, please call Rinstar Medical Research at 352-629-5800. Again, that number is 352-629-5800. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on.
1370 WOCA.
We are The Source, WOCA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler, the ISIS terror group and how to destroy it. The president outlines his strategy for doing that in an address to the nation at 9 p.m. Eastern.
If he thinks that he can just come and request $5 billion and Congress is going to rubber stamp that or write him a blank check without any plan or strategy, I think he is terribly mistaken.
Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn calling tonight's address an opportunity for the president to make a strong case to the American people.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern. France agrees to take part in airstrikes against ISIS targets in Iraq. After Hurricane Katrina, Eric Berry moved his family to the Arizona desert, where monsoon weather flooded roads and Berry's home in Mesa this week.
It's something that living in Mesa, Arizona is not typical.
A stretch of I-15 washed out between Las Vegas and Salt Lake City. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Sending important work files as regular attachments is a big risk. You lose control the moment you hit send. That's why millions of professionals rely on Citrix ShareFile, the easy-to-use business solution for exchanging files quickly and securely. With ShareFile, send files of almost any size without bounce backs. Files are encrypted and remain under your control. Try Citrix ShareFile free for 30 days. Go to sharefile.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage and enter information. That's sharefile.com, type in information.
At the Home Depot, buy one or more pallets of GAF Royal Sovereign 3-tab shingles and save up to 20%. Let's raise the roof, but lower the cost with bulk pricing on GAF, America's #1 shingle, featuring advanced protection technology. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Up to 20% off one or more pallets of select GAF shingles. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Valid through September 17th, U.S. only. See store for details.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Whatsupocala.com.
Hey Adam, those burgers gonna be done before summer's over?
Maybe. Why, you got big plans for the summer?
Not really. Just the usual, kids hanging around the house. How about you?
Actually, I'm having Joshua get his pilot's license this summer.
What? Is he old enough? Can you really do that in just the summer?
Yeah, you can get your pilot's license at 17, and the summer is plenty of time. Plus, this could be the start to his career as an airline pilot.
That is a great idea. I bet Tyler would love that. Actually, I would too.
You guys should do it.
I don't have time for that. Some of us have to work for a living, you know.
Not you, no. Seriously. Seriously, they work around your schedule.
Really? That's cool. Where are you going?
Ocala Aviation at the airport off 60th.
How'd you hear about it?
I heard about it on the radio, then I stopped in. I've got a card if you want the number.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my phone.
Hurry up, the burgers are burning.
Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
861-7484.
Hold on, I missed a number.
Ah, such a slacker. Here it is again. 861-7484.
Excellent. I'm going to call them now.
How about we eat before you start your new adventure?
That's probably a good idea.
You think?
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk,
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Back at the Voice of Ocala. There's some guests who just kind of wish they'd hang around for a while. We could go another half hour easy.
Half hour? We could win it. We could use up the sports hour with him.
Yeah.
We could talk Gators with him as soon as we got in the sports hour.
His parents are great people, too, by the way. I've told the story, but I went on a train one time to Miami with his parents, the Miami-Florida game.
Weren't the soldiers on the side of the road?
Correctamundo,
Yeah.
Bay of Pigs. All that was going on. And Buggy and Gene were great people and very key people downtown our community. So it's always good to have people like it on. You had a story earlier that I kind of liked. And I don't know if I believe it. I mean, because you hear these stories all the time. You think, well, that sounds fabulous. And then you find out, well, it's like the guy who jumped out of the window to save a nephew drowning that, was playing football and broke his ankles, and it turned out he didn't do that at all. He was actually doing a heist. Remember that?
Right, yeah.
Former Florida player, by the way.
Right, yeah. Well, this is a story from
Josh
Reuters.
Shaw.
This is a story from Reuters.
Yeah.
Says an 11-year-old.
Fake or a factoid?
This is fact, according to Reuters.
All right.
Says an 11-year-old boy who was washing his hands in the river in July.
Which river?
Yangtze. He lunged into the Laozulin River in Linz Township, China. Felt something touch his leg and on. Thought, what's that? Reached down, grabbed it.
Crocodile.
3,000-year-old bronze sword.
Get out of here.
The child took the sword home, where it was immediately became a local attraction. People flocked to the family's house. Some people even offered high prices to buy the sword. But the boy's father said he felt it would be illegal to sell it. Under Chinese law, relics are property of the government, and the father submitted to his country's Cultural Relics Bureau last week. Historians say the 26-centimeter or 10-inch yellow-brown sword could date back 3,000 years to the Zhang and Zhao dynasties. So, wow, wait, we're talking about 900 years before Christ.
Yeah. So it's been sitting in the river all the time.
Who knows how it got there? Made a flood. It's all beat up and everything. It's not a pristine sword. It's missing chunks and everything. There were few swords made during the period, so experts say they believe the ancient weapon was owned by a person of wealth or status. So, I don't know if it proves to be a hoax, then that's one thing. But right now, it seems that this has got Reuters is reporting it as a factual find.
Well, it sounds a little bit too good to be true.
Well, there'd been recent dredging work in the river where they had dug down 45, 50 feet in the river to widen it for shipping. And so they surmised that during that dredging, it might have come unearthed and floated downriver, and the boy was able to find it in the shallows.
Reminds me of a story I read on the back of an album cover once about a group from South America who allegedly found a guitar on the trails of the rainforest, picked it up and learned to play and became famous musicians.
Hey, with the monkeys. Well, I remember in the late 70s, there was a dredging operation going on at the mouth of the St. Johns River, and they actually found some Spanish doubloons that had been part of a shipwreck. They never found the shipwreck, but they did find Spanish doubloons, and they surmised those washed up because of the dredging that was taking place at the mouth of the
could happen. I mean,
St. Johns River.
Yeah. Hey,
but the blooms are 400 years ago, not 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. That's an amazing story if it's it all true. You know, what's tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Robin Blaine, who is on the AM Ocala Live show, and my older sister Donna's birthday. But it is also a day that will live in infamy, the likes of which is only rivaled by December 7th, 1941.
Yeah, I was wondering, you as a historian should pop that out right off the bat. I was hoping you'd be able to remember that. Because tomorrow we're going to talk with the sheriff and the chief about these kinds of things. And everybody's got a story. I was talking to somebody about it yesterday. That was David Moore, who was down at the local newspaper, the Star Banner, when it happened. I was in the newspaper office in Charlotte County, and you remember the details. But what it is the chill that you got when you saw the first plane go into the tower. And then we went back into our meetings, news meetings, and the next thing I know, someone said, "Come quick, buddy, something else has happened." Another plane just ran to the tower, and you knew then it was bad.
Right. The first one, you didn't think, I mean, did you really think terrorism on the first plane?
No, I thought
some idiot that didn't know where he was flying flew into the World Trade Center.
I had just read a story 2 weeks ago about a former Mets pitcher who flew in Manhattan and got all messed up and got in trouble.
Right, exactly.
And I thought, well, it happens, and so I didn't think much about it.
I thought it was a set. I didn't realize at first when they reported it was a jet. I thought it was like a Cessna or something like that.
That's what I thought it was.
But when you saw the second one fly into the World Trade Center, you knew we were under attack.
Well, we'll go over some of that tomorrow. And again, it's also, what was the day of the Boston bombings? Is that today?
No, that was Patriots Day. Patriots Day is in April.
Okay. So why am I thinking Boston bombings?
Patriots Day. That was Patriots Day.
Oh, you're right.
Spring.
Yeah.
Remember the Boston Marathon and baseball's going on.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Somehow I had connected those two things, I guess. But anyways, 9/11 tomorrow certainly is you just say that.
Does it feel more ominous this year, though, with all that's going on in the world?
ISIS?
Are you a little more worried about it this year?
I'm not. Probably should be. I'm conflicted about what to do about ISIS. I know that we have to do something.
Well, the president's going to address it tonight at 9 o'clock.
I understand. And I just hope we don't get dragged into the middle of one of these unwinnable situations again and spill American blood and kill 1,000 people and lose 800 or whatever it may be and say, well, we took care of them. And then next thing you know, 2 years later, another terrorist group pops up.
All I know is the last time we won an unwinnable war was because Harry S. Truman made a fateful decision.
Yeah, that was pretty grim.
Okay? So unless you want to make that kind of decision, I don't think any of these situations are winnable.
You know what it's like?
And I'm not real sure that's winnable.
I'm not a guy.
When you do that.
I'm not a guy that believes in bombing the world for America.
Right, exactly.
But I'm going to say this. It's the same kind of thing the sheriff and the chief talk about when an officer draws his gun. If you're not prepared to use it, don't take it out of the holster.
And when you take it out of the holster, it better not be a BB gun.
So my question is, if you're going to go into these places, and I get that we're part of a UN force and all that stuff, you better be prepared to have a plan. And we seem to go into these things with no plan. And I'm conflicted about that, but yet by the same token, not to depress people, ISIS is coming here. There's no question about it.
And the thing is, you might not agree with Sherman and what he did in the Civil War, and you may not.
Where were you born?
I know, and you may not agree with George Patton and how he handled the war in Europe. But both of them knew one thing: the only way to win was to totally destroy your enemy. They knew that.
Well, Sun Tzu did that a long time ago when he was the one who invented that.
Let me ask you: have you ever
the guy who said burned everything down?
Have you ever heard of the Carthaginians?
Yes, of course.
But are they on the face of the earth now? No, because the Romans realized that they were a threat and went over there and decimated them, and then sowed the earth with salt so they could never be on the earth again. Lot to be said for what the Romans did. I'm not saying that that's what you should do. But if you're going to take the step of going in and bombing and shooting and killing people, either go, it's kind of like in poker, buddy. Go all in or fold your hand, one or the other.
Yeah, got to know when to hold and when to fold. Have you ever read The Art of War?
Of course.
Mm-hmm. It's not a terribly interesting book.
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Well, I mean, I read it. I thought it was just okay.
I know people that think the Rise and Fall of the Third Reich is not a terribly interesting book, but I thought it was great.
A little bit more because it's a little more of our time. It's not, I wasn't around, what was it, 2,000 years ago, what it was. Art of War, who was a brilliant strategist, of course, in the Chinese military. And it is the definitive work on military strategy. The definitive work. It's been the most famous one since they came out with is China's 7 military classic. It still remains the most important of all of them.
Still taught at the War College, at the United States War College to this day.
It's also in the library of the head ball coach, by the way.
Should be.
No, it is, for sure. Along with other ones that would you be surprised at, by the way. So anyway, the point is, let's hope it doesn't happen, but anymore in America. You know, the reason 9/11 was so tragic, not other than the fact that so many lives were lost, is that it happened on our soil.
Right. The last time it had happened on our soil, December 7th, 1941.
Well, it really wasn't our soil then.
No, it was our territory. It wasn't our state. That right.
I'm talking about American soil that's on a state.
The last time that Americans died on American soil by foreign hands before 9/11.
Probably Revolutionary War.
Nope, the War of 1812.
Where was it?
War of 1812 was fought in the United States.
Where, in New Orleans I'm talking about?
It was in New Orleans.
French?
No, it was the British and the War of 1812 between the British and the United States.
And
right after we'd won the Revolutionary War, about 25 years later.
I had to research that one a bit to find out the details of the War of 1812 and all that.
The War of that's when Francis Scott Key wrote the Star Spangled Banner while he watched Fort McHenry being in the Baltimore Harbor being shelled.
Well, anyway, a foreign country hasn't bombed us or attacked us really on this 48 since I've been alive.
German U-boats took out ships in New York Harbor and stuff like that.
That's stuff that who knows hadn't been ever proven and all that. We hear those stories, but
okay. All right. Well, anyway, they did, but okay.
The point is, I know there were other things that happened, but it wasn't an all-out assault by a country on spilled American blood on American soil.
The last American war that spilled American blood on American soil was the Civil War.
Yeah. Anyway, so much for the ISIS stuff and whatever, and 9/11 tomorrow. We'll talk more about that. Where were you on 9/11? What do you remember about it? What will you tell your grandchildren about it? And certainly it's not something you want to these old bumper stickers about the Confederates and forget hell. Well, this is one of those you want to say too, forget hell. We'll never forget what happened 9/11 and the horrible things that happened. To think it was so close to us. I was living within an hour's drive of where the pilots all trained Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And
you certainly were.
It's a chilling thought when you go think about it. Right there, as our headline said, we found out evil in our own backyard. It gives me a chill even saying that.
You were living right about an hour away from where they trained.
Venice.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, finish up hour 1. Hour 2, we've got...
You mean hour 2?
I mean hour 3. Hour 2, it's hour 2 and hour 3. I'm ahead of myself. Anyway, we're getting to hour 3 here, hopefully. And when we do, we're going to have as our special guest, Mike Bianchi, for the Orlando Sentinel, and also AP reporter Mark Long. We'll talk about Florida and the swamp, a little bit more about the Ray Rice incident, and maybe we'll throw in some other things like Pat Hayden just to irritate Tom James. You never know. Stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Being the Culligan Man is not easy because he works hard every day for you here in North Central Florida. Whether you need bottled water delivery for your office, a home water softener, or water infiltration system, the Culligan Man can help you. At Culligan, North Florida, we have dozens of softener and filtration options, along with a host of media tank sizes. Depending on the exact hardness and usage of your water, we determine the size of softener you're going to need. And if you're on city or well water in one of our local areas, the in-home water analysis is absolutely free. If your needs are for the home, call Ocala Water Conditioning, 352-269-4312. For home or business bottled water in Ocala, call Ocala Bottled Water, 352-221-9875. Culligan of North Florida, a proud sponsor of Florida State football, heard right here on WOCA.
Here in Florida, when you're looking to go to the beach, you've got hundreds of options. Theme parks, no shortage of options there either. But when it comes to home insurance, most companies have only one option. Allstate is different. Here in Florida, Allstate agents offer home insurance options from several companies, so they can help you get the coverage that's right for you. And they'll help you save on quality car insurance, too. For starters, safe drivers save 45% with Allstate. So before you settle for just one option, talk to someone with many home and car insurance options. Your local Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Hi, this is Kevin McDonald, your local Allstate agent. To get your quote, please call us at 622-2333 or stop by one of our 2 Ocala locations.
Allstate has no financial responsibility to you for any home insurance policy you purchase and would not be responsible for any claims. Allstate does not make any representations or accept liability related to operations of home insurance companies, including but not limited to their financial conditions. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Partly cloudy Wednesday night, low 72 to 75. Some sunshine Thursday, followed by clouds. Thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening, high 89 to 91. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 72 to 75. Friday, clouds and sun with a shower or a thunderstorm, high 88 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Okay, easy. All right, set her down. Over there. Easy.
What are you doing?
Oh, honey, you're home early. Nothing.
Really? Because it looks to me like you've torn up the entire yard with this giant tractor.
Not all of it. There is a small section over there I didn't
That's
get.
not even funny. Why are you tearing up my yard?
Well, the sprinkler head broke.
So you thought it was a good idea to fix it with a huge tractor?
Well, not at first, but then when I tried to fix it, I hit the main line. Thought it would be a good
You
idea
thought
if...
all of this was a good idea? Here's an idea. Why don't you just call Mike Scott Plumbing? It's that easy. In fact, let me help you out with that. 237-2888.
But it's the weekend.
I know. They don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Remember the commercials? If water runs through it, they do it. And they're already on their way. So get this monstrosity out of my yard.
On next week's episode of What Not to Do.
A crane? Really?
The hottest CD deal this summer is with Florida Credit Union. Our summer CD special includes a short 25-month term combined with 1.51% APY. Take advantage of this high-yield CD special. Offer good till September 30th, 2014. In DeLand, call 386-738-4717. In Ocala, call 352-237-8222. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA. Offer subject to change at any time. $10,000 minimum.
WOCA.
Oh, all I got to say is I'm sorry, folks. There's explanation behind the music. We'll tell you about it some other day. Now, the latest on the headlines on Today USA Today, Congress is now looking into the Ray Rice case. So we had the state president and Senate in New Jersey. Now we've got Congress looking into the Ray Rice case.
That's what the NFL should be the most worried about is Congress starts looking at it. Then it's antitrust laws come into question and everything. The NFL should never want Congress to look at them closely.
Yeah, and this that's not a pretty sight, not a pretty thing.
You showed me a pretty inflammatory cartoon there.
I know.
Earlier.
A caveman with an NFL helmet on dragging a woman by her hair. Here's a story that's a little bit alarming, but one we should stay on top. I just read you the headline said earlier that someone has decided that that Alzheimer's is really diabetes type 3, which is interesting. But listen to this. This is USA Today today. Medications widely used for anxiety and insomnia are linked to an increased risk of Alzheimer's.
Wow.
Study published in the medical journal BMJ does not prove a cause and effect relationship between these long words, benzodiazepines, such as Xanax, Ativan, and Valium, and dementia, but it now shows Alzheimer's was 51% more common in older adults who took those. Let's see how to do a better job. Benzodiazepines, that's Benzodiazepines, however you pronounce it, and Xanax, we know, and Ativan and Valium, 51% more common in older adults. So I'll be so glad we make some advances in the study on Alzheimer's, obviously, and other things like cancer. But this Alzheimer's thing is getting to be a big problem. It's absolutely just ripping apart our healthcare system. We have people we can't take care of. Families it's a fate worse than death, Tom, is what it is.
Yeah. When you have somebody that doesn't recognize you, that's all their lives and everything. My grandmother passed away, and she was in the final stages of Alzheimer's. She didn't know who anybody was. She didn't recognize her children. It's nothing they want to go through, and it's nothing you want to go through seeing somebody go through it, a loved one go through it.
Yeah, I got to look up this, the benzodiazepine, whatever this thing is. I'll look it up and see what it is. But I want to get back.
It's hard to say. That's what it is.
And by the way, I want to mention that we fact-checked the Faker Factoid earlier.
So Phyllis Diller is Susan Lucci's mother.
No, she's actually Susan Lucci.
Phyllis Diller is Susan Lucci.
Yeah. No, we looked it up and on Snopes, and in fact, that's not true. She is not actually. So I gave you credit for that, but you won anyway.
I won anyway. So.
All right, time now to take a break. Coming up next, it's going to Buddy Sports Page with Mike Bianchi, Mark Long, and a lot more talk about the Ray Rice case right here on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
Across my heart like it was Texas. And you taught me how to say.
It's the ultimate summer staycation, just minutes from downtown Ocala, but miles away from the ordinary. A summer sports or summer golf membership at Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club is your all-inclusive ticket to a summer filled with activities and fun from June through September. A summer membership at Golden Ocala opens the door to a world-class setting. Is golf your game? Is tennis your passion? Or is lounging poolside more your speed? Want to get in shape? Work out in the state-of-the-art fitness center and then relax and unwind in the sauna or the spa. Summer members also have use of the Equestrian Center at Golden Ocala, offering full board and paddock, impeccable trails, and a jumping ring for riders of all ages. Summer memberships are going fast, so visit goldenocala.com and explore the options. Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club. This summer, you can live there and still play here.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant.
Everyone agrees the best azaleas are the ever-bloomers, and right now is your best chance to save on dwarf ever-blooming red ruffle azaleas. Regularly $5.99, now you get 6 for $24.99 at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. And yes, Bob Wine's has other smaller azaleas for as little as $1.99 each. Absolutely gorgeous double red and double pink knockout roses. They're marked down to just $19.99. Sun patience, perfect for fall, only $5.99. $25.99, and that's just the beginning. The truckload sale is still going on. That means you can get a big 6-foot tree of your choice for as little as $29.99. Larger sizes are also available up to the gigantic Super Jumbos. Check this week's ad for all the super savings at Bob Wines. Remember, they're open 9 to 2 Monday through Saturday. Bob Wines Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, growing greener with Ocala since 1952.
Let's face it, nowadays it can be hard to find American-made products, and that's something that Cabinet Sales of North Florida is well aware of. That's why they're an authorized dealer of Wellborn Cabinetry, family-owned and American-made since 1961. Cabinet Sales of North Florida is your answer for complete turnkey kitchen remodels and whole house cabinetry. Their cabinets are finished with solvent-based enamels for a long-lasting finish that's second to none. Available in an incredible selection of door styles and colors to choose from to turn your dream kitchen into a reality. In-house design and drawing services are available. Come by and see our displays for yourself at the Floors of the Villages, 3935 County Road 216 in Oxford, or Exquisite Design Kitchen and Bath in Bellevue, right across the street from the Bellevue Library. So whether you're looking for bookcases, kitchen, bath, or outdoor kitchen, Cabinet Sales of North Florida is your one-stop source of quality cabinets. For a free estimate, call 352-427-2647. That's 352-427-2647. Cabinet Sales of North Florida.
I'm Major George Patterson from the Salvation Army. Please stop by our family store at 120 Northwest 10th Street in Ocala, where on Wednesday you have a 50% off clothing and bric-a-brac. On Friday, 25% off furniture and large appliances. And on Saturday, stop by to our yard sale from 8:45 to 11. Donations can be made by calling 352-732-4469 and we'll pick it up. Funds from the store go toward the services that we provide in Marion County.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. In a speech to the nation tonight, President Obama outlined his strategy to destroy the ISIS terror group. Willing to hear him out, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy.
I think I speak for my colleagues on both sides of the aisle when I say that we stand ready to listen and work with the president to confront this growing threat.
Another threat, Russia test firing a nuclear-capable missile. President Putin promising more tests.
He wants nuclear weapons and conventional weapons that are more precise. He also wants to build up his aerospace defense system. Putin says he is simply reacting to Western rhetoric. Last week, leaders at the NATO summit decided to create a rapid reaction force to protect Eastern Europe from Russian bullying. Putin says the West is trying to use the Ukrainian crisis to resuscitate NATO.
Fox's Trace Gallagher. The Dow closing up 55, the NASDAQ up 34. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Sending important work files as regular attachments is a big risk. You lose control the moment you hit send. That's why millions of professionals rely on Citrix ShareFile, the easy-to-use business solution for exchanging files quickly and securely. With ShareFile, send files of almost any size without bounce backs. Files are encrypted and remain under your control. Try Citrix ShareFile free for 30 days. Go to sharefile.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage and enter information. That's sharefile.com, type in information.
At the Home Depot, buy one or more pallets of GAF Royal Sovereign 3-tab shingles and save up to 20%. Let's raise the roof, but lower the cost with bulk pricing on GAF, America's #1 shingle, featuring advanced protection technology. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Up to 20% off one or more pallets of select GAF shingles. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Valid through September 17th, U.S. only. See store.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the phone house at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
Everybody, Sports Page. Hey, it's football season. It's time to focus on some big games this weekend, both in, well, actually high school, college, and pros. Tom, where are you Friday night?
We got a huge game this Friday night. The McDonald All-State Agency Friday night game of the week. First time in the history of the school's program, 2-0 Westport taking on the Vanguard Knights, coming off a tough loss to North Marion. So 2-0 Westport against 1-1 Vanguard. I mean 0-1 because Vanguard didn't get us to play its first game. So,
all right,
two programs going in two different directions. Not really the direction we thought. Westport would be 0-2, not Vanguard 0-1.
Huge SEC game, Georgia, South Carolina. I'll be there for that one. Florida plays in the Swamp Saturday night against Kentucky, trying to get an SEC win. And we've got some pretty good pro games on Sunday as well, which we'll talk about a little later.
Atlanta, Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's the big one. And later tomorrow, don't forget Southern Pigskin tonight. We'll be on at 6, and Terry Bradshaw shares a few thoughts about the teams. And where do you see this video? If you haven't seen it, I posted it on Facebook. Have you seen it yet? Oh, you got to see it.
The car lot?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
You got it. Go right now to my Facebook page, and then during the break, look up this. This is really hilarious of Bradshaw at his goofy best. A used car salesman. By the way, he once did sell trucks. So we got that. But you know what? Nothing as big as these two stories. One is huge. The other one is kind of big. The Ray Rice story is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we'll talk to some of the so-called experts about that, including Mark Long, the AP.
But is it going to get bigger for Ray Rice or just for the NFL?
And then, of course, we got Mike Bianchi, who has thoughts on that. And I'm not letting go of the Pat Hayden thing. I think it's an egregious mistake, which calls into question the playoff situation. People who say it doesn't matter, they don't get it. But here's the story before Tom goes to his headlines. Now the NFL is outlining in a letter the detailed steps it took to get this video, which still is amazing that they could get this video at TMZ, but the powerful NFL could not. And if you read down the fine print about this thing, a person spoke on conditions of anonymity.
Of course.
They were not authorized to address the matter publicly. Said the Ravens requested a copy of the video, meaning the one that we didn't see, meaning the part about where he hit her and let her lay there, but were denied because the Casino Revel in Atlantic City could only release it to Rice and law enforcement officials.
Huh.
Okay? Casino told Ravens that gave it to Rice the video, according to the person. Why didn't they ask Rice for it?
It seems he had a copy of it.
I'm sure his lawyer probably, oh, no, don't give him that. Now, this person, this is a source, told USA Today, said the NFL never requested the video from the casino. Ooh, that is damaging.
So does that mean the NFL lied?
Let me read it again. The person said the NFL never requested the video from the casino, and no league representatives viewed their video when it was in the custody of the casino hotel. So, again, either it was utter, abject stupidity and incompetence, or they're lying. There's no in between.
And I think we both know the NFL is not incompetent.
This is the worst PR disaster for the NFL since, I guess, Alex Karras got arrested for gambling and taking off, a couple of nights. I mean, this is all the drug stuff, all those things. This is the most egregious thing. Although there have been many other big problems, and still are, this one hit home to every household.
And I had a friend of mine text me last night. You think this is bad for the NFL? Now the fringe people are going to come out of the woodwork, and he sent me a news article that I had seen this. I had watched the story on Bryant Gumbel's Real Sports recently, but now people are starting to say, see, now women are going to start talking about all the things wrong in the NFL, and they start talking about the cheerleaders. So this is opening Pandora's box that the NFL didn't ever want to open.
So that's what's happened. What's happened in the headlines today, Tom? Other than Ray Rice.
Let me put my glasses on
so I can see. Tom, you're not that young anymore, Tom.
No, I'm really not. This is a story out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A person close to the situation says LSU receiver Travian Durrell has Oh, did I say that right? Durrell, is that how you say it?
Durrell, yes.
Has stitches in his head after a weekend car crash, leaving his playing status for Saturday uncertain. This person, of course, spoke to the Associated Press on Wednesday on the condition of anonymity.
That seems to be going around these
Because
days.
LSU athletic officials have not publicly announced Durrell's injuries. Practice is closed to the media during the regular season, and Durrell has not met with reporters since immediately after the 10th-ranked LSU's victory Sunday night. This is the Tigers' leading receiver. He caught 3 touchdown passes in Saturday's game.
Good player.
Giving him 6 catches for 291 yards and 4 TDs this season. The person says Durrell's playing status is in doubt against Louisiana Monroe because he may not be cleared to wear a helmet over his stitches.
I don't think they'll be worried about Louisiana Monroe, but certainly a guy that's key to that offense.
Little baseball news, because there is still a game called baseball being played right now, buddy.
Really?
I know.
I watched the Rays last night, just a little while.
Max Scherzer figured he had squandered another lead when Alex Gordon's 5th inning drive sailed down the right field line. When it came out to bat, I was sure it was gone. He said, I was stunned to realize it went foul. After that, Scherzer walked Gordon, retired the next 2 batters, escaped the bases loaded jam, and the Tigers went on to beat Kansas City 4-2. To pull within percentage points of the Kansas City Royals atop the AL Central. How about that? The Kansas City Royals in September
There's one you
on
don't
top
know
of the
much
Central.
about. That's really weird.
Neither Tiger Woods nor Phil Mickelson qualified for the Tour Championship for the first time in more than 2 decades.
That is really changing times there.
It might signal a change of the guard, especially now that Rory McIlroy has emerged as number 1 in the world. McIlroy wasn't willing to go that far Wednesday, but he did acknowledge that time and injuries are catching up to the 2 superstars. They're just getting older, McIlroy said at East Lake Golf Club. Phil's 43 or whatever, and Tiger nearly 40, so they're getting into the sort of last few holes of their career, and that's what happens. So Roy McIlroy, stick him with a fork, buddy, says they're done.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say done, but let's say certainly winding down.
Former SMU running back Eric Dickerson and Pro Football Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson didn't mince words when it came to his alma mater's issue on the football field. Either fix it or shut the program down. I talked to 4 former players yesterday, and we all said if they don't want to do anything, just kill the program. Just stick to academics and basketball and kill the program. It's frustrating to watch. It's not good. Either try to fix it or kill it. Wow. This coming from a guy who is responsible for it not being good because the NCAA killed it after he went to school there.
It has something to do with that.
So you told me to stay away from Ray Rice, so I'm not even going to tell you about
something new besides what we talked about.
Well, we're going to talk about the O'Donnell interview this morning on CBS News later. It's a lot of egg on the face of the NFL.
Yeah, and of course, by the same token, we've got football in the swamp, and we'll talk to Mark Long, who covers the Gators, among other things.
Oh, there is one more thing. I'm sorry. Atlanta Hawks general manager Danny Ferry.
Yeah.
This story's not going to go away for him. The call proceeded. He made a call where he hustled through free agents' names and the list that included Carmelo Anthony. He can shoot the blank out of it, but he screws you up in other ways, according to a transcript obtained by Yahoo Sports. Ferry going to say about Anthony, so is he really worth $20 million? I'd argue he plays right away, absolutely. But, how lazy will he end up being? The Hawks never had a chance to get Anthony, but free agent Lou Aldang, as we said yesterday, they said he's got a little Afrikaan in him. And so I think that Danny Ferry's remarks that are coming to light now, and Yahoo's obtained the transcripts, are much more inflammatory than what the majority owner, Levison, wrote in an email.
Just remember the reactions, like Aftershock. Ask Ray Rice about Aftershocks. It's not done in Atlanta yet.
Well, remember, whether you like the guy or not, Donald Sterling said, you think I'm the only one that talks this way? And it may be, I wouldn't put it past Donald Sterling that he's paid people to start dredging things up.
Who knows?
And, that's not good for the NBA either.
All right, coming up next, Mark Long, the Associated Press, shares his thoughts about a couple of things here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Tired of hard water wreaking havoc around your home? Dry skin and lifeless hair? Dull and dingy laundry? Soap scum and spotted glasses too?
Hey, Culligan man! A Culligan water softener turns hard water soft every time. Soft water is the answer. Not cleaning products or detergents. Culligan saves you up to 50% on soaps and detergents while turning your laundry, bathroom, and kitchen brilliant, like me.
Culligan of North Florida, proud sponsor of Seminole Football on the Source. 352-269-4312.
Hey, Culligan man!
Hi, this is Randy Briggs of the Briggs Law Firm. Traditional help for truly injured. We trademark registered this belief years ago as our description of our practice at the Briggs Law Firm. By traditional help, we mean that clients actually meet with a partner in the firm who will personally handle their case, not a paralegal. Well, what about truly injured? We limit our practice to injury claims having merit with clients who indeed have been injured. So if you or a loved one have been truly injured, compare our credentials at thebriggslawfirm.com or call us at 671-4600.
This is Allstate Agent Kevin McDonald, and our agency is a proud sponsor of the Marion County Friday Night High School Football Game of the Week. I grew up in Ocala, and I'm proud to support high school athletics throughout Marion County. For all your insurance and employee benefit needs, contact the McDonald Agency at 622-2333. Our agency has been a proud member of the Ocala-Marion County community since 1985, with offices in Ocala and the Villages.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of the Proper Teas Salon in downtown Ocala. Here in Florida, we're all about summertime fun, but along with the warm weather comes humidity, which leads to the dreaded frizzies. Are you tired of checking the weather report every morning before deciding to flat iron your hair? Sick of looking like the Lion King every day by noon? Has God just not seen fit to answer your prayers for patience and silky, frizz-free hair? Well, your troubles are over. Come to the Proper Teas Salon for one of our hair smoothing systems. Specializing in Peter Coppola and Cezanne keratin smoothing treatments, the Proper Teas Salon can tame your unruly locks with these formaldehyde-free formulas. And with the discount code BuddyRocks, you will save 20%. Not fighting the frizzies? Mention the same code BuddyRocks to save 20% off one of our many services such as cuts, color, extensions, and manis and petties. Gentlemen, this special is not just for the ladies. We do great cuts and color for men too. Check us out at thepropertees.com for more information.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs. And all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Partly cloudy Wednesday night, low 72 to 75. Some sunshine Thursday, followed by clouds. Thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening, high 89 to 91. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 72 to 75. Friday, clouds and sun with a shower or a thunderstorm, high 88 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
This weather brought to you by A&A Lockdock. Did you know that most break-ins happen during bad weather because it masks the sound? Don't be another victim. Protect your home and business today. Call A&A Lockdock, 352-867-1965. That's 352-867-1965.
I'm Wayne Pacelli, President of the Humane Society of the United States. We're offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of any person involved in animal fighting. Contact us at humanesociety.org to help law enforcement crack down on this crime.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
All right, back at Play Sports Page. Go now out to Gainesville, Jacksonville, someplace up there. Mark Long, the world is his beat. He writes for the Associated Press, reports on sports. It's been an interesting week, not necessarily related to the Florida Gators, the Jacksonville Jaguars, but boy, these stories as a newsman, the stuff happening to the National Football League, the stuff happening with the USC game with Pat Hayden, and we hadn't even gotten into the Atlanta Hawks owner having to sell the franchise. It is a crazy time, Mark Long.
Oh, man, you're not kidding, buddy. It gets crazier by the minute. Now, of course, the latest, is AP is reporting that they've now got voicemail from somebody in the NFL offices saying they received the copy of the video, and they even have a quote saying how bad it is, how the Ray Rice video. So now the NFL has claimed all along that they didn't see it and they didn't see the full video and they didn't know how bad it was. Well, now AP is reporting that that's contrary to what the other information is. They got information that it was definitely sent to the league office. So
this is really blowing up.
Crazy. Oh, there's no question. And if listen, if the cover-up's always worse than the crime, and if the NFL was indeed covering up that they didn't have the Ray Rice video and the Ravens and whatnot, it's all going to come out, and there are going to be people who lose their job over it. There's no question.
One of them could be Roger Goodell. Here's the thing. There's so many different aspects of this. It's not even about Ray Rice anymore. It's about the NFL and the cover-up, as you pointed out. But, I have a lot of respect for people like Chris Mortensen. He said today on the ESPN that he had brought up a couple of months ago. He had information that there was a video that somebody had seen inside the elevator where she had been hit twice and hit her head against the rail. And he said he pointed to the interview, I believe it was done, Nora from TBS. I'll think
it's right here.
O'Donnell.
Nora O'Donnell.
Who asked the question about this whole thing, and he danced around a little bit had he seen the video. Now, Mort's been around for a while. He recognized that dancing around. And so now you begin to wonder about the veracity of the commissioner, who, by the way, hung Michael Vick by his toes and said, I can't tolerate dishonesty and not transparency, now could be guilty of the very same thing, Mark.
Yeah, and I think somebody else pointed out that during Spygate, the Spygate that went on with the New England Patriots spying on practices, Roger Goodell was emphatic that ignorance is no excuse. When people in the Patriots organization tried to claim that they had no knowledge that it was going on in their organization, Goodell was ignorance is no excuse. Well, this is the same thing. Listen, if the tape was sent to somebody in the NFL and you're in charge of the NFL and you're going to plead ignorance, well, listen, use your own words. Turn it on yourself. Ignorance is no excuse. So you can't plead ignorance in this case. I think somebody's going down. I don't know if it's quite going to be the commissioner, but somebody in that office is going to take a fall, and it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out over the next days, weeks. I don't think it's going to be much longer than that.
Well, Mark, this is Tom Schmitz here. I got a quote right here that goes exactly what you said. Today in the CBS interview, O'Donnell asked, did anyone in the NFL see the second videotape before Monday? Goodell, no. So no one in the NFL. Goodell, no one in the NFL to my knowledge. I asked the same question. The answer to that is no.
Yeah, again, he's the to my knowledge part is trying to create a little loophole for him, kind of like a Bill Clinton did, is create a loophole that, where he can say, hey, listen, I didn't know about it. Well, listen, if ignorance is no excuse, then there's no excuse for people in your organization, you not being at least, in the loop or whatever, on board or knowing about it, whatever.
Maybe you don't want to,
it's going to be.
Yeah, maybe he didn't want to be in the loop. That's the point. Maybe he didn't want to be complicit,
Well, maybe so. And maybe one of his underlings didn't want him to be in the loop, and purposely kept it out of the less he knows, the better kind of situation.
Yeah,
but either way, I think something here is going to happen, and it's going to happen probably quicker than we can imagine.
Yeah, as you said earlier, either it's incredible ineptitude on the part of the NFL and stupidity, or it's outright lying. Neither one is good. So. Let's move on to some other issues. Did you get bothered at all by what happened on the sideline with Pat Hayden coming down to step in to arbitrate somewhat the calls for targeting that Steve Sarkisian was concerned about? Did that bother you?
Not as much as it seemed to bother everybody else. I think it's the head football coach calls for help and the AD comes running as a good boss would, or as a good, underling would, as we're using that word a little bit. So on the flip side, I think maybe I get why people are disturbed from it, but the reality is he's not allowed to be biased. They're not going to let him be biased when it comes to the selection committee for the playoff. He's going to have to recuse himself whenever USC or the Pac-12 are involved. So I think people are overblowing it a little bit. I just saw a guy who's it's his team and he's passionate, and the head coach calls for help, and and he comes running. Probably didn't know the rules, or maybe not understand them, or maybe how they were supposed to be applied right there. But it didn't bother me as much as some other
ignorance is no excuse, Mark.
True story.
So here's the deal. Either the system was all wrong to begin with, which AD shouldn't be involved in this, which some people would argue that. But secondly, they covered their recusing of themselves and talking about the team to keep prejudice out of the discussion for rankings. And nobody would say that Pat Hayden is not Mr. Clean, Mr. Integrity. He is. But it presents a scenario where they didn't take into consideration the undue influence of the person outside the room. There could be situations, and I've cited one in a column I wrote about, what if Jeremy Foley goes down on the floor to question something in a game against, say, Oklahoma. And Oklahoma, whose athletic director is on the basketball selection committee, sends their AD down there and says, wait a minute, I don't like the way this is going. My AD is bigger than your AD. It just bothers me a lot more because of the appearance. Not that he was doing anything illegal or immoral, but clearly there's a flaw in the playoff system. And that's the first one. Anyway, and
we'll get it, and we'll identify those flaws, I think, going forward and get them worked out. I don't think anybody is saying this is going to be a perfect system, or thinks that it will not have some hiccups here along the way. And there's probably going to be as much screaming and shouting and claims of impropriety as ever before when this thing rolls around. So, and I think what we'll do is we'll tweak it just like we did the BCS from year to year. From time to time, we'll tweak it so we can get the best situation for a 14 playoff. And if maybe down the road we realize that 4 is not good enough, it needs to be 8 or 16 or whatever.
That's coming. Of course, maybe the computers weren't so bad after all. Anyway, final couple of minutes to go on to get this in. There's I won't say a renaissance after beating Eastern Michigan 65-0, but a move in the right direction, maybe toward respectability in the Swamp for Will Muschamp. Ordinarily, you wouldn't think much of Kentucky coming to the Swamp to play. All of a sudden, this game is rather significant because of the next phase for this football team. How important is this game Saturday night for Florida football?
Yeah, they've got a 5-game losing streak in the SEC, I believe. It's big. It's big on a lot of different levels. It's big because Alabama's looming next week. It's big because, it's at home. It's big because it's the SEC. It's big because they've won 27 in a row against Kentucky, and you don't want to be the player or coach who ends that streak. There's a lot of reasons for it to be big. And if the Gators didn't have any motivation before, the backup running back for Kentucky sure gave them some today by saying, it's going to be fun walking out with a victory and rubbing it in their faces. And, of course, that made its way back to Gainesville pretty quickly.
No.
And now it's – oh, yeah. And now it's, it's poster board material, which, listen, anytime you're going to be your 17-point favorite and you've won 27 in a row in the series, this is just beautiful if you're Will Muschamp and your coaches. Because then you just go, now you give the guys on edge. You give them a something to at least throw out there and go, hey, listen, nobody believes you guys yet.
Mark,
do everything that happened. Yeah.
I'm sorry. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Okay. Everything that happened last week is moot unless you back it up. So now the Gators have a chance to go back it up.
All right. Give me a pick on Georgia, South Carolina real quick.
I think Georgia rolls. I think South Carolina's in a lot of trouble on defense.
All right, Mark Long from the Associated Press. Appreciate your thoughts and your time.
All right, buddy. Thanks, here.
All right. That game is, by the way, Alabama game is September the 20th. I was thinking the open date was before, but it's after. So stay tuned. More coming your way. Around the corner, Mike Bianchi right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
If you know what happiness is to you, because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day, whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands. At Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is a place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source. Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. In a speech to the nation tonight, President Obama outlined his strategy to destroy the ISIS terror group. Willing to hear him out, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy.
I think I speak for my colleagues on both sides of the aisle when I say that we stand ready to listen and work with the president to confront this growing threat.
Another threat, Russia test firing a nuclear-capable missile. President Putin promising more tests.
He wants nuclear weapons and conventional weapons that are more precise. He also wants to build up his aerospace defense system. Putin says he is simply reacting to Western rhetoric. Last week, leaders at the NATO summit decided to create a rapid reaction force to protect Eastern Europe from Russian bullying. Putin says the West is trying to use the Ukrainian crisis to resuscitate NATO.
Fox's Trace Gallagher. The Dow closing up 55, the NASDAQ up 34. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Sending important work files as regular attachments is a big risk. You lose control the moment you hit send. That's why millions of professionals rely on Citrix ShareFile, the easy-to-use business solution for exchanging files quickly and securely. With ShareFile, send files of almost any size without bounce backs. Files are encrypted and remain under your control. Try Citrix ShareFile free for 30 days. Go to sharefile.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage and enter information. That's sharefile.com, type in information.
At the Home Depot, buy one or more pallets of GAF Royal Sovereign 3-tab shingles and save up to 20%. Let's raise the roof, but lower the cost with bulk pricing on GAF, America's #1 shingle, featuring advanced protection technology. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Up to 20% off one or more pallets of select GAF shingles. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Valid through September 17th, U.S. only. See store.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you're interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, call 804-3700.
On the next AM Ocala Live, we remember September 11th, 2001. We remember the first responders, the police officers, the firemen, the victims of the attacks of September 11th, 2001, and we hear new sound bites that are included in the 911 Memorial in New York City.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then, if it wasn't for our veterans, we would have had more attacks than the one on September 11th, 2001. So we thank our veterans each Thursday by inviting them into the studio. Hank Whittier from Veterans Helping Veterans, of course, is your host on Veterans News.
William Brazel is a researcher. He's written a book called The Seventh Holy Man. This book is based on documents about the Vatican, and he will also be asking the question, is there more to Pope Francis than most Americans realize?
So be sure to tune in to AM Ocala Live for a special September 11th memorial broadcast, plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
News Talk 1370. WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
We're back on Buddy Sports Page. Talking Ray Rice. Seems like the AP now is reporting that there's evidence that they have evidence that there was a voicemail about the video and about the video of Ray Rice, Buddy. So looks like the NFL may be in some hot water.
Yeah, no question about us understanding it. And a guy I'm sure that talked about this every morning and will again tomorrow morning on 7:40 The Game, Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel columnist and blogger, joins us in the program now. Mike, it's been a great week for sports talk show hosts.
Oh, man. I never thought there could be anything that would overshadow the first week of NFL games. But, man, Roger Goodell has certainly managed to, what do they say, rain on the NFL's parade, hasn't he?
He has, and I was trying to think of a time when it was worse for the NFL commissioner. And I have a hard time coming up with one.
I don't know that I don't think he survives this, especially if this latest AP report's true. And I don't know how it couldn't be true. They've got a law enforcement officer that says they sent the video to the NFL 5 months ago, and he has a phone conversation to prove it. So.
You know, Chris Mortensen is a friend of yours and mine. I know you value him as a reporter, and I certainly do. And he said on his show today that he had some problems with the Norah O'Donnell interview last night that looked like, in his opinion, that Goodell was dancing around whether he actually ever saw the video or knew about the video. And he pointed out that he had said himself, Mort, that he was told by somebody from the NFL that that the video showed Ray Rice hit her and she hit her head on the rail, and yet that video never surfaced. And he told his teammate there at the ESPN, he said, Adam Schefter, there's another video out there that's going to surface. I hope the opposition doesn't get it. Well, the TMZ got it because they paid for it, I surmise. But, you know, Mike, I don't know if it's a case of just total ineptitude or outright lying. It sounds like it's lying, doesn't it?
Well, the cover-up always gets you more trouble than the actual act itself. And, yeah, it sounds like they're trying to cover up the fact that Roger Goodell made originally, yeah, I think it was incompetence. It was incompetence. I don't think Roger Goodell was aware of the public outrage and outcry that was going to take place. I mean, whether he saw the video or not, that's almost irrelevant. I mean, he saw the original video of her getting dragged out of the elevator unconscious. He knew what happened in the elevator. Why do you have to see the video to make your ruling? I mean, that to me, that's the most astounding thing. I will say this though, buddy. I mean, in a roundabout way, Roger Goodell's absolute incompetence and ineptitude and all of that and the way he's handled this situation. I talked to a domestic dispute expert or a domestic violence expert today. She runs a shelter down here in Orlando for battered women, and she said Goodell's mishandling of this situation has done more to raise awareness for the domestic violence epidemic in this country than anything since O.J. Simpson.
Unquestionably. We do a show here called Ask the Cops. Tomorrow, the sheriff and the chief of police will be on with me. And we talk all the time about the number one problem in our community is domestic violence. They talk about it all the time. And I know they're going to say, yeah, this points out the problem that we knew was prevalent. But did you see what the head ball coach had to say about this, about his policy?
Absolutely, I saw it, and that's what I'm talking about, raising the national awareness. I mean, you have college coaches like Spurrier saying, "Hey, if you ever do this at my program, you're done, you're finished." And he said, "I can't understand why every coach doesn't have that rule, and why every company doesn't have that rule for their employees." And I talked to Jeremy Foley, the athletic director of Florida today, and he reiterated what Spurrier said. He says he feels the same way. It's pretty simple. If it happens, you're done. There should be no tolerance for this in any profession. So, again, Roger Goodell unintentionally has done a lot of good to raise domestic violence awareness in this country.
Yeah, Mike, just one more comment. We'll move on to some football. But I think, and I have a lot of friends and some sponsors who are lawyers, so this is not meant to offend everybody, but sometimes – people like Roger Goodell himself, an attorney, they get a little too lawyered up themselves, and they listen to things that legal advice that steers them the wrong way when it comes to truth and integrity. And this is what we're talking about here. This is an egregious breach of integrity, in my opinion.
You know what else I think? I think Roger Goodell made the fatal, if you will, for his career perhaps, the fatal error of listening to the victim, Janae. He brought her up there, talked to her. She begged him to, it was just a one-time incident. That's the worst thing you can do. I mean, anybody you talk to about domestic violence victims say that they often blame themselves or stand up for their man, and So I think Roger Goodell made a fatal mistake by being sympathetic to the victim.
And there's this aspect of Ray Rice went to Rutgers in New Jersey, there's a New Jersey connection there, and now they're asking the Attorney General of New Jersey to review the case and so on and so forth. Anyway, it's a bad situation. Let's talk a little football.
Okay.
Number one, Florida actually has a meaningful game Saturday night, and actually not against a really worthy opponent, but Kentucky. All of a sudden, beating Kentucky is important if you're 0-5, have a 5-game losing streak in the SEC. Will Muschamp, has he got this thing on track, Mike?
Well, again, it was one game last week against a terrible team, but buddy, I've watched this Florida offense over the last 3 years, and they have struggled against terrible teams in the past. Now, I don't know if they can score points on good teams, but at least they can score points on bad teams, which is something they couldn't do over the last 3 years. So that's a good start. And the fact that, we didn't even see the element of the offense the other day with Jeff Driscoll actually running the ball. I mean, that's a major part of this offense.
Great point. Sure. Yeah, I agree with you.
And they're going to unveil that as they need it in the tougher games, probably, 2 weeks from now against Alabama. But the fact of the matter is, I think Kirk Roper's debut was just what Florida needed. I think Florida needed to run up the score. I think they needed to score a lot of points. That the dwindling fan base needs to get excited. They needed to be entertained, and that's what happened. I mean, these Gator fans have sat through some miserable offensive football over the last 3 years, and there was a sense of excitement in the stadium the other day.
Driscoll not quite as sharp as I'd like to have seen him. He was a little high on his throws, but I think he is. You're right. His running ability is going to be a huge part of this offense, and he's fast for a big guy. So we'll see how that happens. Mike, let's talk about the psychological aspect of football for 1 second.
Okay.
Focus on.
You're going to get deep on me, buddy.
Well, I'm not. It's pretty simple. You know, and I know that we make way too much of, clippings and pregame talks and halftime talks, whatever. But the fact remains there is an element to the underdog, and especially when they're challenged, and especially when your name is Steve Spurrier. We've seen this movie before, Mike. Now, I'm really going to favor South Carolina for this reason. Go back and look at Spurrier's record. And after big, devastating losses, they have been they've changed him and changed his team, and he's made significant progress after big defeats. Going back to certainly Nebraska, the Fiesta Bowl, they got hammered, and of course next year won the national championship. Do you think, based on the fact that maybe Georgia's gotten a little too much love, everybody acts like they're the Green Bay Packers of the 60s, and maybe there's a chance for Spurrier to regain some of that respectability that he lost against Texas A&M and upset Georgia?
Well, yeah, I mean, South Carolina, they're still a good team. I realize they've struggled the first 2 weeks, but I mean, they still bring 16 starters back from a hell of a team last year. And yeah, they lost Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, they lost their quarterback Connor Shaw. But they were the trendy pick to win the SEC East, and again, I don't know what's gone on with their defense. There is the fear among South Carolina fans that Todd Gurley could run for 600 yards the way that defense has played the first 2 games. But yeah, South Carolina can upset them. I mean, before the season started, this was a pick'em game, and now all of a sudden, 2 weeks into the season, we're going to make judgments on who's the best team in the nation and who's not. I mean, good grief. So, yeah, South Carolina can win the game. They got a lot of great athletes.
Talking with Mike Bianchi. You got about a minute, Mike. Tom Schmitz here. Let's switch gears and talk about an Orlando kid who is on the bench in Jacksonville. After Chad Henne had a great first half, looked like that there was going to be no reason for Blake Bortles to come in, but the Jaguars just imploded in the second half. How long before the fans or somebody says Blake Bortles needs to be the quarterback in Jacksonville?
Well, the fans are already saying that. They were saying that during the preseason. But, Gus Bradley has sort of stuck to his guns with Chad Henne, says he'd like to see Chad Henne start most of the season. But, I mean, it all depends on what happens. Like, if they'd won the game the other day, obviously, nobody would be talking about it. But they lost, and if you look at their schedule, they're probably going to lose their first 3 games. And then, and then if they go 0-3 or 0-4, then why would you keep Blake Bortles on the bench? I mean, then you're playing for the future. And so I predicted it's going to be the 5th game at home against Pittsburgh. The Jaguars will either be 1-3 or 0-4 by then, and the fans will be calling for Blake Bortles, and they'll unveil him at home against the Steelers in a big game at home.
Mike Bianchi, who says absolutely Bortles should be the starter?
Who?
We do a show with this guy every week, Terry Bradshaw. Bortles should be the starter. He'll learn nothing holding a clipboard. He's vehement about that. So other people who in football think maybe Bortles should be the quarterback, but we'll see. Mike,
what about you big timing us with Terry Bradshaw? Good Lord, buddy.
Hey, man, we have all the stars, including Mike Bianchi on the show. All right, Mike, appreciate your time. And don't forget, read his blog and his column on, what's the name of that website?
That's OrlandoSentinel.com. You can hear me 6 to 9 a.m.
The game.
Every morning, 7:40 the game, 740thegame.com live streaming. Thanks, fellas.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. All right. Speaking of big time, I've never been invited to be on his radio show.
All right, well, there you go.
So
there you go.
Big time. So, all right, take a break, come back. We'll hear from our friend Dave Pingalore, and we'll put a wrap on this chapter of the Ray Rice thing after this timeout of Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local on The Source.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase process fixed rate alone.
Fumble! I was so busy making my fantasy football picks that I forgot to stock up on inventory, and now I need cars fast, so I'm calling for an inventory blitz. Chris Spears here from Prestige Auto Sales. This month, bring me in your old car and you could score the nicer, newer ride you've been fantasizing about for just $10 down.
Sack your old car.
And start driving the nicer, newer car of your dreams for just $10 down. Don't get fouled by past credit problems.
Our For the People credit approval process is the game changer you've been waiting for.
We huddle up the banks and lenders to help you get approved and back in the game. So stop driving a car you hate.
Punt it and drive a nicer, newer car for just $10 down today.
I'm throwing in a Hail Mary to make my month, and I need your help. Trade in your old car and you could drive for just $10 down. But don't wait till the clock runs out. This deal is over when my inventory is full. I'm Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit us at Prestige Auto Sales or call 694-1234. Yes, 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on.
WOCA. The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Partly cloudy Wednesday night, low 72 to 75. Some sunshine Thursday, followed by clouds. Thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening, high 89 to 91. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 72 to 75. Friday, clouds and sun with a shower or a thunderstorm, high 88 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
This weather forecast brought to you by Tri-County Generators 1-800-622-1957. Don't get caught with your power down. Call Tri-County Generators now, 1-800-622-1957.
Are you a mom looking for inspiration? Are you creative? Mamazine.com is a lifestyle blog designed for the local mom to be inspired by the beauty of motherhood while staying current on local events and issues. Visit Mamazine.com today to find events around town, recipes, imaginative play ideas, and more. Mamazine.com.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hello? Can you hear me? Because if you can, then so can your customers. Radio works. Call today to advertise your business right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
Welcome back. Wrap it up, Buddy Sports Page. If you're just getting in your cars, the AP is reporting that they have a law enforcement officer from Atlantic City who says that the NFL requested and received the videotape of Ray Rice punching his wife in the face in the elevator 5 months ago, and they have voicemails to prove that they gave it to him, buddy.
Somebody's lying big time. Roger Goodell in trouble. Yesterday we talked to Dave Pingelow, Local 6. He was out of the box early with this one regarding his views of the whole Ray Rice thing. That's what he said. Dave Pingelow is a little bit upset about Ray Rice and how the NFL bungled this one, and we want to get him on before we wrap up the show. Dave Pingelow, your thoughts on Ray Rice?
Look, you guys have been around sports for a number of years, covered professional sports, college athletics. I really believe that the NFL had access to this video. They saw this video.
He nailed it.
I believe there was a bigger deal going on here of a cover-up. This is all about making money, selling tickets, winning football games. My whole commentary was based on, the cover-up and Roger Goodell. Will he ever come clean? Probably not. Will it get leaked out if he saw the video or not? Probably. But I believe they saw the video. I don't see how they didn't see the video. First things first, you go to the police of Atlantic City. Not arrested. How is he not in jail? Were they part of, a bigger conspiracy? They were from, they had Rutgers connections and let them slide a little bit. But, it starts really with the Atlantic City Police Department, and then how the NFL said they did not see the video is unbelievable to me. I think it's shameful. I think their credibility is really shot with me. They have the shield, and they would like to protect the shield. So two different instances, but it's kind of like how Penn State covered up what they had going on. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out over the course of the next few days. And remember, these guys that are in the national media for the most part, whether it's an ESPN writer or an NBC.com sports writer, a Fox Sports, remember, they're all in bed in the multi-billion-dollar industry of the NFL. If you're like an announcer and you're calling a game and you're critical of the game, who do you think's going to call you the next day? The league office. Or they're going to get in touch with that guy. That's the problem. It's really all propaganda. They're all in bed together because what drives it all is money. There's really no true national reporting for the most part because there's so much money involved. If a certain organization reports something, I question the reporting of it. The problem is, buddy, they're all in bed together. And part of my segment last night, I called Ping's Point as a commentary. Covering up something in 2014 is a lot harder than it is back in 1982. You got the internet, you got Twitter, you got social media. That stuff's going to get out, and TMZ is going to pay for it. So if there was that cover-up, and look at the cover-up not only involves the league office, but you got to go down to the Baltimore Ravens.
Correct.
It goes down to that level as well.
Hey, it goes beyond that. So, we got about 15 seconds. The Rices had a part in it. They covered it up too.
They covered it up too because you know why? It's about the money for them as well.
Exactly. Well, good commentary. Thanks for joining us late today, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday, David.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, welcome back. Wrapping up the show today. Our thanks to our guests, Kent Gwynn, the mayor, Albert Peak from Ocala Development, Mark Long of Associated Press, and Mike Bianchi from the Orlando Sentinel. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Tom Schmitz, I'm Buddy Martin. Have a great night, everybody.
She grew up in an Indiana town, had a good-looking mom who never was around, but she grew up tall and